go like thoughts of you. Like a wave returns to the sea, into the blue. They change but in a cycle that I can't lose. Each painful but delightful to live through. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. The seasons turn and change just like your mind. Like the sun gives into the moon, into the night. Time continues marching, it slowly crawls. With each new one starting, I recall. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just just like another season. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just like another season. Come my way this season.
The world is yours. The world is yours. The world is yours. The world is yours.
My shit go down, hold up, wait just a minute. Too much money, pockets evading. 4 5 shots, smack got no limit. Bitch call me so she wants to visit. Come through, bitch for you. 10 reps, my kicks like kung fu. One beat, then hit with a 1 shots till don't lay down. My shit go down, hold up, wait just a minute. Too much money, pockets evading. 4 5 shots, smack got no limit. Bitch call me so she wants to visit. Come through, bitch for you. 10 reps, my kicks like kung fu. One beat, then hit with a 1 shots till don't lay down.
We don't make music, we talk shit. Bad bitch from the party, finna pop shit. Emo bitch, cause I been wanna rock shit. Tell me what the fuck is this nonsense? Damn, got 10 on the gram, but he don't got 10 in his hand. Talk down, but you been a fan, bitch. I been somewhere you don't wanna ever stand. Got plugs and stay in my flight to Atlanta. 3 hoes at the crib, bitch, I feel like Santa. Bruce Lee, clip flipping out, going bananas. Kick a bitch out quick, I don't got no man. She's so damn bad, but she not for me. Chain down, neck tie red, eyes on green. Girl toxic as fuck, wonder where she sees. Real rude bitch, she for it just like me.
Is she just like me? Go bestie, go. I can't deal with no friendly hoe. So bad, my ticket till Mexico. If you ready to leave, then just let me know. This fit right here, it cost me a rent day. Busy getting money, I don't care what the rest say. Talk to me short, I'ma leave your ass stretch day. Leave her walking out like she just hit leg day. Zoe 101, are you ready? Pistol by my side, it get heavy. With a new Porsche like an old school Chevy. They steal all my flows and they acting so friendly. I swear y'all a joke, but that shit isn't funny. You copy my looks, but you still looking bummy. The flow like the drip of the notes, cause it's running. My bitch know my songs, so she bounce like a bunny.
Slow down, hold up, wait just a minute. Too much money, pockets evading. 4 5 shots, smack got no limit. Bitch call me so she wants to visit. Come through, bitch for you. 10 reps, my kicks like kung fu. One beat, then I hit him with a 1 2 shots till don't lay down. like shit, fuck down. Hold up, wait just a minute. Too much money, pockets defeated. 4, 5 shots is made, got no limit. Bitch call me so she wants to visit. Come through, bitch, for you. Terrorize my kids like kung fu.
FNATIC
Won't
versus
beat to hit him with 1, 2, 1, 2 shots. You don't make those.
It's already नीचे यूपीएस से कूद के मेरे ऊपर चढ़ गई ब्रो बड़ी हो गई है For an almost 30-year-old, like a 1 month old cat, she's quite athletic. Not gonna lie.
The world is yours.
Bitch, I'm in Tokyo drifting. I got all these bitches got metal on me. If you wanna get with it, she wanted my dick. She
Yo,
said
bro,
it don't
Shubham
fit in my
Shekhar,
whip,
welcome
but I
to
got
live,
bitch like that.
dude.
She wanna beef from a chicken, just playing. You
After a
wanna
long
let's get
time.
it, let's get it, let's get it. Got a new block with exchanges, so if it's a race, now I'm ready. Bitch, I'm in Tokyo drifting. I got all these bitches got metal on me. If you wanna get with it, she wanted my dick. She said it don't fit in my whip, and I'm rubber. I got all the fish like that. You wanna beef from a chicken, just playing. You want it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Got a new block with exchanges, so if it's a race, now I'm ready. Finish down, get on.
Hey, safety boy. Let's go.
Bitch, like bitch want me cause I'm on shit. You want is beef, I get on quick. Got Louis and Prada, I got a new chopper. You say you my friend, but little bitch, I got nada. Got hoes up in Cabo, my fate on design. I can't come for no dollar. These thotties, these thotties, these thotties.
You're watching VCT today?
Catch me break. 2 twin fucking glass with a mag of that. Teach me how to rap with
Day 3 actually. FNATIC versus 100 Thieves.
top move, kill from 5 make strap.
One team is from EMEA, basically Europe. And one team is from NA, North America. One of the best teams. And then Loud was Droptic. That's going to be a banger match. But you are a match with what is 40 more seconds to go.
Bitches got metal on me. If you wanna get with it, she wanted my dick. She said it don't fit in my whip and a rubber.
Just like yesterday, Mr. Park खाते हुए मैं 20 से बराबर.
Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Got a new block with exchanges, so if it's a race, now I'm ready. Bitch, I'm in Tokyo drifting. I got all these bitches got metal on me. If you wanna get with it, she wanted my dick. She said it don't fit in my whip and a rubber. I got all the fresh like that. You wanna beef on a chicken, just playing. You want it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Got a new block with exchanges, so if it's a race, now I'm ready. Finish.
The world is yours.
Bitch dance and throw that ass up, blood so big I can roll your ass.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Valorant Champions. I'm your host Yingsu and I'm joined by Bren and Saisho. I was really jealous of the hair segment. I want it in. So
You're not bald, Yinsu. You're not bald.
I kicked Golden Boy off the desk. There was not enough hair on the desk. Bren was too alone, I feel like.
Yeah.
Brent's making up for it with what he's got on his upper lip, that abomination.
And I was also losing hair up here with the state of that game that we just watched. But hopefully this next one's going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I'm expecting it to be.
Let's talk about this game. We've got FNATIC versus 100 Thieves. Let's start with 100 Thieves because it's been a hot minute since we've seen them back here at Champions. And Josh, we got to let everybody know at home that this is not the 100 Thieves that they might remember from last year.
No Hiko? No Steel?
Where's Nitro?
What's going on? Yeah, if you only follow the global events, then you'll know the name 100 Thieves. They're a clouted organization. I'm sure you've bought one of their hoodies before. But for the team, they've actually been built with some unknown talent, at least when they were first formed. They are now known talent. And this is, for everybody apart from Asuna, their first global event.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, a lot of people are going to be coming into this, maybe looking at these names if you haven't seen a global event and wondering how are they going to stack up against it. But this team has made great strides in North America recently. A large portion of this comes down to almost the prep diff of the team as well. Like the coaching staff, you've got Shrek Garris as well, and Mike's HD behind them. They come into it with a lot of great ideas, and they really did take the NALCQ by storm through that lower bracket because of that.
I mean, I want to talk about the prestige that you guys mentioned of 100 Thieves. Everyone knows who they are. They obviously won LCQ with the new coaching staff as well. But where do the expectations sit? Do you guys agree with some of the fan sentiment that this is one of the favorites coming into this tournament?
I think the North American fans are just... They're
off the goop.
They're off the goop a little bit. But I do think 100 Thieves have a lot of great things going for them. their trading and their teamwork, holding angles for each other is superb.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you get with a really structured coaching staff and team system, and then upcoming hungry young players. And that's the entire purpose of this team. You don't have superstar players all over the place, although Asuna and Derek are building into that. You could argue Bang as well. But what you've actually got is a really well-functioning system.
But that can also be a double-edged sword when you have these young players that are a bit inexperienced, because now you're looking at this global stage. It's a lot of, it's new for a lot of these players, with the exception of Asuna, who's been at these big events before. So I'm wondering, how are they going to be performing on the big stage? It's a big question mark.
You say big stage as well, but they're actually playing from the hotel as well today, because they've had so many players who are unable to be here. So that is going to add its own layer of complexity. I suppose you could argue they're playing from a hotel. They might be a bit more comfortable. They don't have the pressure of the stage, but we don't have fans in here. I think they'd rather be here for sure.
Course,
Yeah, especially if you're going to travel all the way here for a LAN. You want to be on that stage.
definitely,
FNATIC, of course,
absolutely.
they've been there a few times before. But before we move on to FNATIC, I got to talk about a player he's not Durka. It's Derek. Everyone calls Durka Derek, and now I'm confused. This is Derek.
Okay, so the phonetics are there and then a Rick afterwards.
There's no Durka.
All right, thank you. His 1v1 clutch rate is absurd. It says 11-0 here. He's even better than that, actually, if you go further back. He's on a 13 win streak for 1v1s. That's bonkers.
Comparable with players like Xiao, who I mean, honestly, if you're familiar with EMEA in any way or capacity, if you just watch the last tournament, you'll know that these kind of numbers that the guys putting up are comparable to Xiao in terms of those clutches. He is a demon, and honestly, I am so excited to see this guy actually play at a big major tournament. For the longest time, I have been the biggest Derek simp. I have been a tier 3 sub. I have been to his Twitch chat. I am a huge fan of this guy, and I am so glad he's going to get the opportunity to flex on the big stage against top competition.
Would you be disappointed if he doesn't show up on LAN?
Yes.
How disappointed?
I would be quite disappointed, because what we've seen from his online performances have been outrageous. The guy is making, I think, a name. He's on a good track record right now for being one of the best initiator players in the game currently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking back to Leo when he had his debut at Copenhagen, right? That's the kind of thing that you're looking at. It's a different player, because Derek's so good in like specifically the clutch scenarios, not like Leo where he's getting crazy value out of the utility, but it's still a big player turning up to LAN for the first time. What worries me slightly about Derek is that LCQ is so much better than what he did in Stage 2. Stage 2 was not that great for Derek, so you're hoping for that LCQ level performance from him, and that's where all of the fan expectations are.
I think they might have to set themselves even up for the expectation being too high. I think a lot of people, I know you guys think the NA fans a little bit, maybe overrating them a little bit, but if Derek turns up, then surely that is that they have their proof.
Exactly. I mean, there's the difference between overrated and just good is simply what you do here, right? You've turned up to the global stage. Some teams do better, some teams do worse.
I will also say, I think the structure above the 100 Thieves players, with them being young players, you've got DDK, Sean Garris, Mike HD, I think they've got good enough structure. They're not going to let the fan perception affect how they play.
Definitely.
That's going to be taken away as another element. I really do respect the 100 Thieves structure above and how they've been molding these players over time. I don't think it's going to be as much of a factor, despite 100 Thieves being this absolute clout demon org that just drive expectations from the fan base.
I thought you were going to say that Dan and Sean were young. I was going to be like, what? They're boomers. They're boomers. But we're kind of going from one team that people might not be super familiar with if they don't watch NA to a team that I think everyone is pretty familiar with right now, FNATIC. They were here at Copenhagen. And Brent, similarly, expectation-wise, it feels like they're very, very, very hyped every single time they go into a big tournament, but they never win it.
No, I mean, but good reasons for the hype, I think, as well, because they've showcased incredible peaks across the board of the talent that these guys have got, and especially Alfia. Finally, we get to see this guy. We saw him at Copenhagen, and honestly, I was really impressed for his first-time performance at a big event, and I want to see him hit even greater strides now that we're at Champions.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because it actually is. There's more to do with Alpha yet. There's more to give. His performance at Copenhagen was good. You could argue maybe even great, but he's been an elite superstar player within EMEA.
Don't say that to his face. He's gonna get so cocky if he hears you saying that.
Fair enough. I mean, the guy's deserved it. He just has to do it at LAN now.
He's got the home turf buff as well, which we're going to talk about in a second. But I think the maps is what's really exciting. We've seen Pearl already, and Brent, I think every single person is really excited to see what FNATIC are going to do on the new map.
I want everybody to think back to FNATIC as well at Champions in 2021 and think about what they did at the beginning of that group stage, which was making Fracture, the new map on the scene, the big pick for them in the group stage. They won every time that they played it in that group stage of Champions, and they made it almost this extra weapon in their back pocket that they could use to really flex on people with. And here's what I'm wondering now as well, because we're looking at them with this performance. They're a super prep heavy team, but they definitely are the main characters in every single way. And this is how they're going to showcase it. This is 2021. Fracture absolutely cracked. We're pretty dominant.
Dunker had hair.
In 2021. Dunker had hair. That's how old this is. And here's what I'm expecting for 2022. Still the main characters, but this time with a different bit of a flex and a different setting on it as well on Pearl itself, because that is the new map that's coming in, and there are a lot of parallels that you can carry forward. And here it is. This is the 2022 performance, the sequel to it all. I'm anticipating the same thing.
Just Mini.
Mini's just got blue eyes. He was born in Pearl.
Omniscient. You know, he's molded these players and strategies and the prep. And I keep using that word, the preparation. There's a lot of parallels as well between both of these teams.
That's
the way they like to put a prep into these aspects.
sequels
But
to
I'm
the
fully expecting the exact same situation that we saw from last chance now with FNATIC practicing on Pearl.
Because the big difference is FNATIC have had more time than 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves are a great prep team, but they've just come straight out of LCQ in here. They won't have had the same amount of time to focus on that map.
Do you dare to leave that open for FNATIC if you're 100 Thieves?
I think you have to, because there are other maps you have to target ban. You've got to get Icebox out of there, I think. You just can't allow FNATIC to keep playing on Icebox.
Absolutely not.
Well, I mean, one of the players I'm really excited to see if they do play Pearl is Alpha. What is Alpha going to play on a brand new map? He has teased already in the past that his agent pool is actually pretty deep. He just basically plays whatever his team needs him to play. But if we're going to see Pearl today, what would you like to see him pick up?
Well, we've seen so little in terms of Pearl with the compositions that I'm really not sure. We've seen some teams, I think, find success with it with the Raze. Alpha's Raze is phenomenal, but I think it opens the floor, honestly, to a big amount of flexibility that teams can do. FNATIC love to play different roles, and especially Alpha. The guy is super flexible in terms of the killjoy. He plays an Icebox. Don't think we're going to be seeing that. Map's too big, but definitely the Raze in terms of his individual raw gameplay. A lot of opportunities for big combo plays and setups like that. But I also want to just hit back to the original point that I had, which was Copenhagen. Alpha really did impress me for a new player on the big stage for how well he actually did, and I want to see him take that next level up now here at Champions.
He has that initial experience from Copenhagen, and he's playing in Turkey, so by the time you get a crowd in here, I mean, that is just going to be absurd. But I think it bears mentioning again for anyone who only watched him at Copenhagen. This guy is a hard carry when he plays in EMEA. 40% of his team's first kills. He gets 28% of all of the trades for FNATIC.
Yeah.
He's up there second in the tournament for ADR. He hyper pounds. He's an unbelievable player if he plays up to that EMEA level at the global event. And I think he should trend upwards this time because he's already had that first, you know, the nerves were there at the beginning. He went like 7 rounds or something without
Yeah.
So he was a bit nervous at the beginning. Now he's got that out of the system. I want to see the real Alpha,
He's also 17.
So young.
Yeah.
A really young player, but I think that makes it even more impressive, the fact that he did rally throughout our tournament. It's kind of alternating with him and Durka having good performances when they were playing at Copenhagen. But this time around, this is the time for both of those players to come up at the same time in the maps, really performing like they have done online over and over and over again.
Is that the one condition? If you are Sean and Mike right now, you're like, we're going into this, we'll just focus on shutting down Alpha.
Yeah, I mean, you can try to do that, but Valorant's a very difficult game to just shut down a single player, especially when Alpha is so active. Again, another stat for you, he's the 5th most active player in the tournament, so he's hunting fights all over the place. Yeah. And between Durka and Alpha, they get half the kills for FNATIC. You've got to shut one of them down at least.
Well, speaking of Alpha, ahead of FNATIC's debut, Doug and Bala actually had the chance to sit down with him, who's getting to play an international LAN in his home country of Turkey. Of course, there's a lot of rumors actually about Alpha. Who is he? What does he do? And here he is to set the record straight.
Thank you so much. I'm here with Alfair and our translator, John. Now, Alfair, you're a mysterious man. I've heard a lot of rumors about you. In fact, this is only a 10th of the rumors that I've heard, okay? This is going to take us a bit to get through this because, as you can tell, there's a lot here. I want to start with actually one that I experienced this morning. I woke up, I was really excited to go get Turkish breakfast downstairs in the lobby the first time, right? Get downstairs, stand at the door, I find out that there's no food left. And I've been told that it was because of you. Is this true?
Alpacar'cığım, öncelikle çok gizemli bir adamsın. Hatta ellerindeki dokümanlar, evraklar, seninle ilgili bilgilerin 1/10 sadece. Soracakları şeylerden bir tanesi bu sabah gerçekleşmiş. Kahvaltı yemişler, Türk kahvaltısı etmek istemişler. Ama hiçbir şey bulamamışlar, yiyecek bir şey bulamamışlar. Senin yüzünden
I
olduğu
actually
söylenmiş.
like the fact
Doğru mudur?
that Valorant is so deep into esports.
Çok severim kahvaltı yapmayı. Zaten buradan da anlayabilirsiniz.
Play the game.
Yani ben böyle kahvaltıyı böyle
Hold on,
yani,
hold
bu kadar
on.
büyüklükte
Hold on,
yapıyorum. Zaten bizim takımdakiler de genelde beni takip ediyor. O yüzden bitmiş olabilir.
So yeah, what you heard is correct. As you may have seen, I'm a hungry man. I like my breakfast. I usually eat a stack of breakfast every morning. I like food, so yeah, my teammates know it as well. So
Yeah,
that's
so-
basically it.
Yeah, I like the fact.
You're also very tall, and I heard a story that you actually had an opportunity to play for the
There are so
Olympic
many
Turkish national team, and you turned it down
Down
instead
to
to play for
earth players.
FNATIC.
Underdog
Are you sure
actually.
that?
Çok
they
uzun bir
don't pick
insansın
up,
aynı
like,
zamanda. Hatta
too
olimpiyatlarda
knowledgeable
Türkiye'yi temsil
people
etme hakkına
or
da sahip olmuşsun yani.
too,
Olimpiyatlarda
like,
Türkiye'yi
smart
temsil
people for the
edecekmişsin
game. They
basket
pick
konusunda.
people
Ama oradan vazgeçip FNATIC'e
who know how to
katılmaya
play the
karar
game.
vermişsin. Doğru mudur?
Doğru.
That's it. Like it's true actually. Like बहुत सारे players
Basketbol
इस game
oynarken
में
eğlenceliydi ama ondan
like
sonra
इतने पढ़े
bir
लिखे
anda bir
नहीं
şey
हैं,
oldu
इतने
bıraktım.
ज़्यादा you know
Bıraktıktan sonra da Valorant'a başladım
fortunately नहीं
e-spora.
हैं
Sonra da
और
FNATIC'e kadar
like
geldim.
privileged.
So yeah, well,
They play the
basketball,
game to
while
earn.
it was fun, I had to quit that basically.
From
and
countries
start,
that
after
उन्होंने
FNATIC
English
recruited
like
me,
English
I couldn't
India
turn them
national
down and I had to
पढ़ाते हैं
play
जबरदस्ती
Valorant.
नहीं
So yeah,
actually
I'm here
curriculum
now.
में है but बहुत
All
सारे
right,
countries में
let's get to some
English
of these
curriculum
deeper
में
some of these deeper rumors because we,
and
again,
English
we have a lot
पढ़ना
to
is
go
like
through here.
a
All right, here's a good
privileged
one, here's a
kind
good
of
one.
thing.
This says
English medium schools
that
में
all
पढ़ना
of your power and all of your strength is in your hair, and that the only reason Durka shaved his head was to make a fight fair between you and Durka. Is that true?
Bütün gücünün saçlarından geldiğini söylüyorlar
Evet.
Alpacar.
Evet.
Hatta öyle ki der ki saçlarını kazıtmak zorunda kalmış ki ikinizin arasındaki savaş artık eşit hale gelebilsin. Bunda bir doğruluk payı var mı sence?
Bu doğru. Belki dedi benim senin gibi saçım olamaz. O yüzden kestirmeye karar veriyorum dedi. Ve ömür boyu da kel kalacağım dedi. O yüzden böyle bir anlaşma yaptık biz de. Hem o iyi oynamaya başladı hem de ben iyi oynamaya başladım. Böylelikle aramızdaki çekişme de son buldu.
Well, we made a pact with Turkey. He said that, you know, my hair is never going to be as luscious and as long as yours, so I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to be bald for the rest of my life. So we made a pact, and it worked out at the end. He's playing better, I'm playing better. So yeah, we made a deal between each other.
Okay. Well, speaking of Durka, actually, I heard that when you first trialed with FNATIC, the first time you played on the first map, you played really poorly, and the people on the team were talking trash. And so in the second half, you dropped 40. Is that true?
İlk defa FNATIC'le tryout'a çıktığınız zaman, denemelere çıktığın vakit en başta çok kötü başlamışsın. Hatta takımın da seninle böyle artık trash talk'a girişmiş. Sana laf atmaya başlamış. Öyle ki sen de ikinci yarıda tamam deyip 40 skorla bitirmişsin maçı. Böyle bir duyum aldık. Bunda doğruluk payı var mı Alpacar?
Bu da doğru. Baktım ilk tryout'a çıktım. Oynayamadım, biraz kötü başladım. Sonra baktım boş konuşuyorlar. Ben de dedim bekleyin siz. İkinci maça bir geçtik, hemen pat herkesi vurdum. Ondan sonra onlar da bir respect oldular.
Well, yeah, that is true as well. I had a poor showing when I first started out at the tryouts. And they were talking trash as well. They were, you know, grinding my gears. So yeah, I basically said, okay, you just wait. And then it comes second match. I took all the kills. I showed them what I was capable of. So yeah, they saw much power.
Alpha, thank you so much. It was a pleasure getting to know you better. Best of luck to you in this tournament. Back to you guys.
Wow. So it was Alpha that ate all of the breakfast.
Yeah,
I was
know.
wondering.
I've gone hungry for days. I didn't realise that it was the Turkish man of mystery that was stealing all of the food.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I turned up at breakfast at one point. It was just empty plates everywhere, just being taken away.
We need
Should
to
I
get
laugh
Brent
or
to do a
something?
1v1 basketball thing against Alpha yet.
Start
You will
college.
lose.
Brent's
You
also a
will
tall
lose.
guy.
I'm
Yeah,
a tall
you
guy.
would
That doesn't
lose.
correlate to basketball, though, Josh. You've seen me play. It's like I learned how to run in a textbook.
Yeah.
I'm trying to apply it on the court. I'm
Sleeps
not
you
an
guys.
athletic guy.
I just want to see Alpha
me-
dunk on you.
He would destroy me.
Would you be down to do it though?
Yes.
If we made it
Absolutely.
happen?
I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
We should
Is there
run a
a call
poll.
nearby?
We should run a poll on who we think who's going to win that
going for
basketball
coach.
match.
Alfie would win.
The 1v1.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
would
how
need like
looking
a
at
team. It would have to be like 1-on-5.
the one
I
you
think-
do the next
One on
round,
five.
I'll have
that's
to have like I can pick
And
4
the
players. I'll play with the rest of
face of
Fnatic,
sleep
and then
strings.
we'll play against Alfie.
I think that might
Me?
work in Valorant
Nah,
as well,
nah,
and I think
nah,
Alfia
nah,
might
I
beat
want
both
that.
of those teams in
want
basketball
me to
and
do?
in Valorant.
Well, let me know if you guys want this to happen back at home. Tweet at us on all your thoughts as well. We're going to take a quick break here, but we're going to be back with map select right after this.
Anyways,
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to head into map select soon, but really quickly, I want to ask because I think the bans are going to be quite interesting because Fnatic's permaban is what 100 Thieves thrive on.
Yeah, I think especially with Pearl being thrown into the mix, everything's up in the air, apart from the fact that you need to get rid of Icebox playing against Fnatic. If that's the only thing we learned from Copenhagen, it's that.
Well, we're going to find out right now, Josh, because we're going to send this over to the stage for map select. Or as you guys said, Icebox, of course, is in play. Pearl as well. It feels like pick your poison, right, Brent? You ban Icebox, maybe you have to play Pearl. You ban
never want to
Pearl.
pull an FPX where you just leave it open.
No.
You're trying to ego it. You never want to do that against Fnatic.
I mean, there is a phrase, better the devil you know, in terms of you could try to anti-strat them on Icebox, but I think that would just be so foolish. I love this ban as well, actually. Fnatic getting rid of Breeze, it's one of 100 Thieves' best maps. They basically win it whenever they play it domestically, so get that out of there.
Yeah, the comfort zone important for Will when he's playing Jet on that map as well, is where you really do see 100 Thieves thrive. And yeah, there's the Icebox ban. So Pearl is being floated, which will make it very interesting to see which team potentially is going to pick it. If there's any team, as I've already mentioned prior, I'm expecting it to be FNATIC, just because they are that team they were last year.
There it is!
And there it is. We get to see it. A map 1 Pearl picked by FNATIC.
Okay, and now we have the delight of taking a look at some of the comps, because you know that the 100 Thieves players and staff have been working on the comp of their own, right?
In fact,
but,
yeah.
I've been talking to the coaching staff as they were scrambling to prep after LCQ.
I've been hearing rumors as well, Josh.
Yeah?
Yeah, listen, I've been hearing rumors about the region settling on their own meta for Pearl.
Yeah.
And NA play the same comps, EMEA play not necessarily the same comps, but they have different ideas in terms of how they want to play it. So not only is Pearl an interesting map, but when you see the inter-regional rivalries as well, we've got NA versus EMEA here, you're going to see probably very vastly different compositions as well.
This is smart.
100 Thieves go for Bind here as well, which I'm not sure there's a great place to try and target your picks to hurt FNATIC, but Bind is still up towards the top of FNATIC's pool.
I think it's smart, though. I think that's a smart pick.
100 Thieves are not a horrible team at Bind at all, by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, they, I think, have great ideas on it, but like Josh was mentioning, FNATIC are honestly pretty good at Bind. I think that they put up really good performances against some of the best teams in the world.
I'd say it was their second best map at Copenhagen.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
they had
really
to
intriguing.
pull out real rounds out of their bums for that one. They had to really pull out.
Yeah, and that was, I think, mainly, there was something different with FNATIC at that last event where they were just looking shaky at times, and there was just alternating. They were relying on clutches from Enzo. We can all remember the iconic moments, but across the board, if FNATIC end up getting back into that online form, their Bind should be something else entirely.
Well, Haven is where we're going to go to last.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a really interesting map, actually, once or if we get to that point. 100 Thieves with the choice of either going Fracture or Haven. And both maps have been looking all right for both teams, but it's much more towards the middle of the pool. We have no idea where Pearl is going to be. Listen, even if FNATIC pick it, that doesn't mean they're necessarily great at it. They might think they are at the moment, but until you play a full tournament with a new map, nobody really knows. Yeah. It's all based off scrim results. I think this is just going to be so interesting as a series, because the way I'm thinking about it is 100 Thieves trading is some of the best we have across the entire tournament, but it's up against the star power of Durka and Alpha yet, and that is so scary to face.
I also want to quickly mention, because obviously FNATIC picked Pearl, so 100 Thieves get to pick the side, and they chose to start on defense. What do you guys make of that?
It seems to me to be quite a defensive-sided map, just theoretically, but I just don't know yet because we haven't seen enough of it played at the pro level.
Yeah, I mean, same kind of point. I mean, I can go off my ranked experiences.
Go on, share
I can go off my. It seems like an attack-sided map.
I agree.
Ranked, personally, playing a ton of it. It's but that's because people don't know how to play it.
Yeah,
it's when people don't know how to play a map, it's always the defense side that just gets flattened. Yeah,
maybe, but I think there's certain aspects to Pearl that really lend itself to defense-sided. Astra is going to get huge amounts of value as is Raze, just because of the tight choke points. If you try and go through a link towards A, you can get reflanked through mid. B long is a nightmare unless you have a Viper in your comp. There are tons of different things that no matter what comp you come up with, I don't think you can master the entirety of the map on the attack side. Or at least I don't think we've seen anyone do it yet.
And post it online on OnlyFans, because
I mean, we're really excited about FNATIC's Pearl. How much faith do you have in 100 Thieves trying their hands on a new map?
They haven't had a lot of time because they came through LCQ, which is an important point. I keep bringing this up with teams in terms of that prep time. So I am curious, but honestly, the preparation is structured at 100 Thieves House. They should have something cool cooked up.
I hope they do. I hope they do. And with that said, it's time to send this over to the stage. Of course, 100 Thieves is still playing from the hotel, but FNATIC are here and they're ready to go up against 100 Thieves.
Mystic.
Bang.
Bang. Crop. Derek. Boaster. भागो आगे बोस्टर को Stella Bro, what the fuck is this meme there? Alpha Air. Will. He's just Will. Will Smith.
Enzo.
Enzo.
Asana.
Asunani. Asana. Mini. Garrus. Who are they going to handshake with again? Hawa ke saath? They're gonna handshake with the air. Okay. कोई है नहीं फिर भी लड़ रहा हूँ उनसे. Nice memes, bro.
Well, this is the age-old rivalry of NA versus EMEA, and I'm glad to see Mini is the one that started.
He's throwing hands?
Yeah, he's throwing hands. He wouldn't do that if Sean was here, though.
No.
Mini would never do that. But I want to quickly say, he brought out a neon plushie and threw it to Alpha.
Oh, yeah, sponsored by
like
Laurel Paris Minix.
You are reading the tea leaves.
He's never played neon before, and Mini's never done that.
If it comes true, I'm going to be analysing every plushie in the arena from now on.
I mean, Benkai has a Phoenix one.
Yeah, Benkai Phoenix. That is a mystical tale from the APAC region. Do not tell me about the APAC Phoenix.
I don't want to see Phoenix anymore. I've seen too much.
If Alfie does end up playing Neon or some other like heavy duelist role as he's used to, yeah, that'd be really cool. But also the way that I'm thinking about this match again, Alpha Durka, it's the star power. But star power.
He's playing Neon. Come on, John. He's definitely playing Neon.
Yeah, maybe he is. But star power is more variable than incredible teamwork. And that is what 100 Thieves are going to rely on, is that insane teamwork and trading that you've seen from them. Yeah. I don't think we're going to see Will stand up toe-to-toe against Durka on Chamber, right? I'm not saying that, but I think as an entire team, you should not be counting 100 Thieves out, because these players have been in the grind for so long, working on all of that synergy.
Yeah, I think it was quoted to me in terms of their boot camping. 100 Thieves, they've had hardly any time at all back home. In all the run-up, all the way to champs, they've always just been boot camping in Dallas across the board. So I think, like you said, Josh, this is a team, 100 Thieves, they are always more than the sum of their parts. That's kind of how they've been built up, and how that's going to clash and contest with that star power, that raw star power that FNATIC have in the form of Alfia and Durka is going to be really interesting.
It's great to see Sean as well in the coaching position this time.
Vinny's lost his notes.
Yeah.
Vinny's lost his straps.
That's a bad omen. That's a bad omen. But I do want to say, you guys both pointed both of these teams out as prep-heavy teams, but they're about to play on a map where they have zero data on each other.
And I think that puts stress on the IGLs, because you come in with a game plan, but as soon as the game plan goes wrong, you're straight into improv, adaptation, and honestly, they might not even know which agents are going to be played for their opponents.
Well, we're into the Prime Gaming Agent Select here, and this is a bit of a territory we're not super familiar with on Pearl, but Bren, I'm going to let you talk me through what you're about to see on your screens here.
Yeah, I'm just super curious. I think there's two directions to take it as well, centered around the smokes itself. You can either run double controller. Okay, they are going to be running Alfia on the Neon. You were right, Itsu. But Boaster is going to be running that solo controller Astra. I am really interested to see how this is going to work, because in my mind, I've been running through the simulations in my brain, and it is difficult, I think, to make this work. You're going to be relying probably a lot on Alfia with his fast lane, the big wall that he can throw up to try and get anything done on the B site.
But when you're thinking about that, right, if you're going for B plants and trying to get to elbow with Alfia's fast lane, one C's, one nade, that kind of thing, and you can't get through the fast lane anymore, and then it goes down. It's not like a Viper wall where you can regen it later on. And look at the tools that they have to be able to deal with it. A slow orb could be put down, or a wall.
C's pull.
Yeah, a nade as well. There are a lot of tools to stop the B side. So I think it just comes down to, do they have ideas on other areas of the map where Neon could be useful? Yeah. This one is more of like what we saw from Paper Rex, right? 100 Thieves is going in that direction. The Raise Fade and the double controller. So I think this has been proven to be a good comp. Maybe not the best comp, but a good comp.
It almost feels weird to me that FNATIC aren't running the Viper. They're kind of the team that always brings the Viper on every new map.
Yeah, they do trend into that as well. They have a lot of really cool ideas on how to get great value into it. But it seems like this core game plan is going to be revolving around Alfie on the FNATIC side of things.
Oh, I cannot wait to see what both of these teams are going to bring out on Pearl and throw this over to your casters for this match. It's Doug and Baller.
Thank you so much, Into. The storylines write themselves. 100 Thieves coming through the...
I love 100 Thieves. They're so good. Sean Garris, Derek, I love them.
Can you not?
What?
Can you not? 100 Thieves, yes, and then FNATIC.
I love FNATIC. They're so good. Vinny, Boaster, he's so charming.
What is this meme going on?
Right. Let's just get into the map. Kelly, 100 Thieves, FNATIC, Pearl, all of it. It's exciting. My pits are sweating. I can't control myself anymore. I just want to get into this game. You've got Alfier, you've got Neon, you've got everything.
Dude, this is a matchup that we've been waiting for 2 years, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Since the beginning of Valorant esports, back to First Strike, 100 Thieves was a great team. The NA Saviors, they're actually going to be good this time. The region's going to be good. And then FNATIC summoned FC back then. And we haven't seen this matchup yet because 100 Thieves and FNATIC failed in different times where they will never actually match up to each other. And we're finally here. So super exciting to see this matchup with new rosters and all sorts of different things. This matchup is going to be exciting for a lot of different reasons, but I think that one is the most exciting. We just haven't seen it.
And it feels like we should have seen it, right? Like it feels like at some point across this timeline, these two teams should have intersected in a banger match, but it just has not been the case. Now, the desk was talking a lot about Pearl and compositions and thoughts on Viper, no Viper, Neon, no Neon. But I do want to get your thoughts on 100 Thieves starting on defense in particular.
Yeah, sure.
Right? There are so many ways that you can interpret the map and which way it's sided, things of that nature. You're the smart one of the two. What are your thoughts on 100 Thieves choosing to go with
Number one, I have no clue. But also, I will take a little bit of, I'll think a little bit about that because Josh was talking about how maybe it feels a little defensive sided. But my thoughts is, yeah, but my thoughts is I look at this comp and this is what Paper Rex ran, right? So I'm thinking, okay, they're going to maybe lean into a lot of the Sage plans that Paper Rex were going, but that's on the attack. So I think it's completely different. I think they came up with this on their own, and they're going to have a lot of stall to actually stop what FNATIC wants to do. And they've been really leaning into Fade and some anti-neon stuff on a lot of other maps. So I think this might be just that too.
Yeah, perhaps get yourself to a decent lead at halftime and see how the cookie crumbles. I think I was chatting with some of the guys on 100 Thieves earlier today, and they're just brimming with confidence. They feel really good about this series, and especially Pearl in particular. As the desk was saying, they go through LCQ, they don't have time to lab this thing out, but they still feel really good going into it.
Yeah, that's important, right? Bren was mentioning it over and over and over because all the LCQ teams at Champions last year didn't actually bring out Fracture. There was very few, if any. So it is very interesting to see 100 Thieves, who, in my mind, was definitely trying to deepen their map pool a little bit. Be prepared to float it here when FNATIC has been proven to play the new maps, and they've been banning Breeze for so long. You kind of expect them not to change that in the near future because of whatever they think about it. So very surprising, but you have to think there's confidence. Look at the smiles on everybody too. You have to when you're at remote, right? You're not on the stage, you're not next to each other. You gotta keep that positivity up. Where FNATIC is here so many times.
Yawning.
They're going to shit on you, bro.
About to kick off a crazy match against FNATIC. Dude's yawning. I do think you're right. Confidence is key, especially against a team like FNATIC. The desk talked about the structure, but there is the FNATIC side of things, right? And for as much as I believe it was Yinsu who said on the desk, they have not walked away with the chip. They've flirted with it many a time. They have shown consistency on getting to the international stage and then one blip on the radar. But performing well.
And there was also just, I mean, an element of a little bit of underperformance at Copenhagen, which we haven't necessarily seen FNATIC in those types of situations. Obviously, Reykjavik was completely out of their control, but in general, FNATIC is a team that is super prep heavy, and they always come in with chips on their shoulders. There's so many times you think FNATIC's done for, and then the next season, they just pop off.
Seems like they rebuild over and over again. It's been very heavily documented. 100 Thieves starting on defense on Pearl here. The compositions before your screen. We'll see what we have cooked up as the first round is going to kick off. And it seems like FNATIC want to go towards A.
Oh, this is a 2v2. All the way down on this curve, and Bang's the first kill on the game.
Bang feels like a player who grew a lot during LCQ with the opener to start things off. As much as we talk about confidence, I feel like that's a big one.
Yeah, that is huge, but also this protocol that they had in general there. You saw they have 2 stars to take control of this curve area.
Let's go
And then
elbow.
Elbow, sure.
Elbow,
whatever.
banana?
We could just make up things.
We'll
too.
make it up. Yeah,
it looks like a Pac-Man to me, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. But either way, the protocol, as soon as there was any sort of fight, as you see Durka taking multiple, actually. He has his TP not too far away to get out of this.
Well, it's because Boaster's taking so much space down long. I think they want to try to flip back that way.
This is such a cool anchor, too. That's all the way tucked back way where he came from, and he can easily TP to safety in that entire area. It's so quiet, though, and you only have Asuna on this B site. He's all the way in B Link, though.
Remember, Mystic no longer around, so that utility's not going to be a factor in this. They're going to get onto the site with relative ease. Asuna, as you mentioned, the only one really in the same zip code, but just kind of has to wait as his teammates show up, and then they can push their way forward. But it's actually FNATIC who take the fight to 100 Thieves' doorstep. First kill going their way.
All the way in spawn.
Yeah, but how much more can they get? Got Boaster who's creeping his way around. Will wins that up. Now he's up top. Should be able to drop down on, but there's a really good pulse plan set up here from FNATIC.
This is actually a
If
good
they don't
setup,
take care of what's happening on long, if they don't take care of that control, it's going to be very difficult to fuse to hold.
There's a wall out, though. They got to break the wall.
Oh, fuck. You're dead.
Getting it all the way to half, and you're right, the wall provides cover, but there's enough suppressive fire to get the defuse. 100 Thieves takes the pistol.
And instantly prep from 100 Thieves on so many levels. Just the pistol round strat in general, too. They left Asuna on B by himself. Invited FNATIC to join in on that site. And then the entire plan worked really well. Use that wall in the retake. Just as we've seen so many times on Icebox. Great retake and great start from 100 Thieves.
For them to hold composure once the Sage wall went down too, to provide cover for Asuna. It's a great start, as you mentioned. And it seems like we may have another delay here.
Sure. I also want to note the Viper wall setups that they've done. The first one on Pistol Round was covering mid a lot. This one is much more aggressive, something you've seen in like B on Breeze and Cave, right? Where you get a lot of pockets that you can walk up on. FNATIC has to take their time to clear it out.
Actually, I want to go back to that because one of the fun things about having a new map is that we get to like theory craft, right? We get to talk through what are strong points of the maps, what are how are teams going to invest their resources to control areas. And I think as we've seen Pearl evolve for as little as we have, there is this interesting in different schools of thought, perhaps, where either mid is outrageously important, and you must control it, or there are other teams who just, we're going to slam our heads into B and A, and there's nothing you can do to stop us.
Yeah, there's so much theory crafting. That's why I'm really excited to watch FNATIC, right? These guys have, both these teams, these guys consistently put in the prep work to understand how different theories clash against each other, and that's what I give props to Sean for a lot, right? Where he's able to really understand how both sides of the coin are actually going to interact. So much to watch, so much to learn in this matchup as we have a tech pause. You see Gear, we saw Mystic trying to work something out. Who knows? Hopefully we'll get back into it.
The shrug emoji.
Yeah, that's true too.
I don't know.
Did see him shrug. So hopefully we get that fixed up.
Still seems like all smiles. This also feels like a universal tease, right? For as much as we like get all excited about 100 Thieves and FNATIC and how they should have played, we get one round in, and it's like, nope, we're gonna throw the brakes on this. Let's make you guys think about it a little bit longer.
It's funny because I also kind of feel like this is just the entire series a little bit of a tease too, because this is an opening group match.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. I mean, yeah, we're at Champions, it's the final tournament of the year, but still, the stakes right now. We're still in groups. There's still plenty of time to develop, plenty of time for these guys to get experience on the stage, get the jitters out.
यार ये तो मेरे को लग रहा है
Fans in as well.
ऑप्टिक गेमिंग ऑप्टिक पॉज कर सकती है अब तो ये लोग भी टेक पॉज कर रहे हैं
All ball is this like consistency of
yeah,
North
2
American
घंटे तक
teams
टेक पॉज में निकल जाते हैं
struggling. Getting grouped, not making it out. And yes, this format's a bit different because everyone starts in the same spot. There's no knockout stage from having the number 1 seed, but I do think you're right. Like getting these jitters out, this is important.
But imagine going up against FNATIC as,
yeah, that's
comparatively to having. I mean, I guess all the NA teams.
Bro, that's that's huge.
Eco round here for FNATIC. And the approach is not going to be over towards that
Chuk
wall. But look also
that's
how
huge. I
100
think
played this. They put the orb
वो लोग
down
A के पास stack हो
at
जाएंगे
the
and
top
Okay, never mind. Fate ने देख
So it's fairly difficult to take
एक का
it
info तो मिल गया Fate को.
the window side. And again, slow from
क्या
Dirk.
नहीं मिला? I don't know. वो सब लोग B stack कर रहे हैं.
Hunter, you can definitely get a kill here.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
gotta be
fuck.
careful. That should be the first
वो लोग
Q. Derek dropped the Haunt at
ready
the
हो गए
beginning of the
B
round, back down long, and they waited it out. Now they're gonna push their way
Yeah,
forward.
अब वो लोग rotate कर रहे हैं.
Come around the Prowler to try to provide some cover, but Alfier has gotten behind enemy lines. He's only able to get one as Bang trades him out. Now they have alley control. They just have no sight control.
Mystic's the guy who picked up Respector as well. And Boaster actually
चार लोग हैं halls में.
Slows already. This could be dangerous.
Oh bro, अगर उन्होंने कुछ भी molly कर दिया ना, bro, they're dead.
They are no longer around.
चार लोग halls में.
How do you get 4 members of FNATIC out of this tiny little alley?
Bro, मैं बोला था.
3 from Stellar.
4 लोग halls में, bro.
100 Thieves take the second.
Just like that.
Bang is like, wait, और नहीं है?
Makes it a little bit hurtful.
उसको लगा 2 यार.
100 Thieves
I don't know why.
With the spike now being planted.
4 people stacked in one place in an eco round is not good.
Will be bruised
but yeah, actually,
not gonna have options to
it's actually better than playing split though. Eco round है यार. क्या ही कर लोगे?
Potential massive hit and a chance to win this round.
Holy smokes, it's almost been a year. Is it that long ago?
Yeah, dude.
349 days.
Long time ago. And the crazy part too is 100 Thieves is a really, this roster specifically has not been together for
what, 2 months?
Yeah, it's really, it feels like 2 months, but it's a little longer than that. Almost half a year now, which is crazy to think about.
I'll find you.
Same Viper wall that you mentioned defensively from Stellar, and this time a bit different look from FNATIC. It's much more spread out. They are trying to explore the middle of the map.
They just skip it too, right? Alfier just dives in front of the wall, takes control of Art, and so it completely nullifies everything but the double doors area. Where Asuna is still prepped and ready. He has his wall, no more slows though, because of the low purchase they're going for.
And so feeling there's a bit of aggression. You see the nade running his way.
Ooh, that hit him.
Yeah.
Right in the face.
Yeah. Down to 70 HP, no armor. Asuna up top, cheeky. Little corner is able to get one.
They, again, inviting them. That's while the fuel is down for Stellar.
And again, it seems like we're going to end up be 4 strong on the side of FNATIC as they quietly work their way up. Little defenses on this side again. We've seen this round when it was Asuna. This time,
they spotted
Stellar.
Also has his orb here, so he can put it up potentially in a second. K coming through on Alpha.
Stellar's job is to delay here. How long can he stay alive? A second molly to provide
30
cover.
seconds left.
And to delay it longer. And now Derek shows up. Alfier out. Spike is just hovering.
Chamber मार देगा.
What it is they're looking for.
Most probably.
Utility that they need back up so they can swing out.
Yeah, Chamber ने मार दिया.
FNATIC are just picking up shreds. It's just Will and Bang that remain. 2 rifles here. They're in a 2v3. Once again, it's this long control that they try to lean into. The smoke to provide some cover. But Bang is left alone. The Prowler not going to tag him. It's just one kill though. That's all it was. He was flashed up to high heaven. FNATIC get the first round.
And good recognition from FNATIC to stay in front of that smoke that 100 Thieves is consistently trying to keep up.
Yeah.
They had the Viper Orb there, and then the Astra smokes were layering on top of it. And they did have a lower buy there, so they went for a bonus. They'll have full guns here to challenge against FNATIC, who is definitely throwing a little bit of an economic boon. Knowing exactly how to keep the momentum in this. Here's an aggressive play from Will, maybe trying to get up to this cubby, but also 2 stars again, super deep up into the bar.
Astra gets hit. No, not even gets hit. Astra. His gunshots goes into yoga position. People spam, and then Astra is like,
the swing off of
that.
Gets him.
They just lost a huge portion of their map control. FNATIC, thankfully the smoke clears and they're able to at least recover some of it, but they don't know what's on the other side now. They're gonna have to be really cautious of a close setup. Also that cubby. But there's just nothing here from FNATIC. They have to call an audible, and it looks like Boasters are already heading back over towards this B site. So for the 4th time in a row, we're eventually gonna end up on that site.
It certainly seems to be the case. Remember, it was in the previous round that FNATIC, you even heard it in the comms, great recovery. First plan did not go as they wanted, and they had to audible to this.
And Alfier is always the tip of the spear to get through that smoke as fast as possible, but Oftentimes they're not able to clear out the back of B site, but look, Stellar's not here this time, and there's nobody actually playing in dark, which has been their issue
30
so
seconds
far.
left.
Once again, contact. Boaster creeping his way up mid. This is slightly different. They haven't really applied pressure from this way before while hitting it. Now he's starting to drop all the stars to provide cover. They've taken B.
Don't forget how aggressive they were in their pistol round 2 to push up into spawn and hold the front of sight rather than go for the post plants that Paper Rex was going for.
It was Alfear who did it. Now Derek has to wait back to see if there's anyone coming in through double doors. Cosmic Divide through.
Spikes on the other side of that.
Yeah, now you've got the Nightfall to work with as well. Bang is already fallen. No controller around, at least on the Astral side of things. I see the Seekers through as well. Spotting a couple members of 100 Thieves.
They keep the front of the wall.
With the flash. And it's because they haven't been able to get him out of this corner. They haven't been able to get him out of that back alley. Now Austin creeps forward. You've got more in resources. 100 Thieves break through just in the nick of time.
How did they just demolish FNATIC there?
Damn, son.
They took all the time in the world to clear out the back of sight.
ये होता है perfect retake.
Take the front of the Astral Wall that they put down before anything even
Can I
happened. While the Astral Wall falls is when the kills fall too. Look at
I
this
hope you
retake.
learn something from this.
Asuna all the
And
way
me
to the
too.
front. The defuse goes on, and at this point, there's not even any utility
Phantom
anymore.
is the new meta.
For FNATIC. Boaster didn't have any stars to even pull the diffuser through that wall.
NA and EMEA always uses Phantom, and
So
meanwhile,
they lose the bonus but recover.
Asian
immediately.
teams, APAC teams, Vandal meta. Like.
Boaster with a frenzy.
Find you.
It seems like he's gonna
वैसे
try
तो
to take
like
target. You see
long
the flash
maps
through
में
for
तो
Alfear to take
obviously
that space.
Vandal
He
use
may have
करते हैं
not
सब
gone
लोग
all the
like
way up,
Pearl and
but he's
Breeze.
tucked around.
But yeah, like traditional maps, पुराने वाले Bind and all, they all use Phantom.
No, that's actually Pocket.
Oh, you're right. I got that one wrong. But again, a heavy investment mid here.
Yeah, it's quiet for 100 Thieves, and they're really not gathering too much info other than Derek, who's jump spotting from the back of B site. But they know, given that haunt, which they've already seen, Alfear could definitely be a close art.
Yeah, Derek should be up shortly. It just went out.
Alpha's going to use his ult to try to challenge Bang here, who is just completely ready.
Damn!
Oh, they're going to the sewers!
Neon का lineup
It was a
वाला
prowler that gave
stunts
Will
कब
away,
से
and
आने
Alfear
लगे?
swings off of it and gets the kill. And now they have alley control. Now they can push their way towards B.
Damn, alley control.
But much like we
पीछे
saw in the
देखो,
previous round,
पीछे
100 Thieves have
देखो.
control of that back alley.
Never
And
mind.
guess what? Alfear's not done yet.
Alfear तो भाई.
A 3v2 in favor of FNATIC.
Asuna, come on, clutch brother.
Oh,
That would be so
Location
big.
He's the real thief here.
100 Thieves.
Stellar with the Molly ride into Mystic Slap. And that hurts. Asuna trying to
Ooh,
find the
ooh.
swing, and there's suppressive cover from up top, but Asuna gets
Oh,
the
damn,
kills.
damn. Come on,
Now
come
it's
on.
Alfear who's left alone. Ult no longer in play.
1v2. Come on, let's go.
Can he get the 1v2? Oh,
Never
he
mind,
spotted
he's fucked.
Stellar.
He's fucked.
The shots don't land, and
He's
they're just gonna push him.
fucked.
They're gonna swing out together. They have to clear
Never
him out,
mind.
but Alfear's gotten into 1v1. He's already got 3, and
Ooh, damn,
Stellar wins
close.
the clutch. He wins the
Nice.
1v1, and he
Stellar,
gets the
nice
defuse.
clutch, man. Nice clutch.
Carry round.
Damn, that ass broke.
Stellar,
Never
the
mind.
IGL, holds strong against the young player from FNATIC. But Asuna with the hold. He got challenged immediately in B-Link. Bang did. And Asuna was there to support. This fight as well onto Will. They didn't really capitalize on any of the sewers push other than getting the first pick.
Enemy remaining. That's 3.
Which, mind you, was a big one, right? Dropping out the raise, but you're right.
I really don't think that's going to be much of their... It's so weird to see emotion out of Sean like that.
FNATIC calling a timeout here, down 3 rounds. Seems like the money should be okay for them to be able to buy up full here. But they've heavy leaned towards B, right? Primarily through long. We've seen them explore that area of map through mid a little bit, but you're right, they have not explored the eastern side of the map whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, outside the early push onto the A site. I think this is what a lot of coaches have been talking about on this map, right? There's certain ways that the game progresses on the map at early development where you feel like you can just go one side every time. But so far, the way that they're approaching that B site's not working at all, right? I would have expected this out of 100 Thieves with the Sage in play. But instead, they're really relying on that fast dash from Alfear into the back of site. But there's not even any utility, really, to support him that can get into the back. I'd like to see something like that from them. Maybe that could help out. Because they're not able to stay on site either. A combination of some B-Link takes as well through double doors and the long push. Because, again, it's been those two positions that they're trying to flush them out of.
Yeah. Interesting note here. I believe this is a different Viper wall.
Yeah.
And yeah, the pit laid right over the top of it. The thing is, they've kind of explored art, but not a
Oh,
lot.
Asna's gotta be careful.
Got Durka up to higher ground, but then backs up. Prowler's gonna follow him through, but there's no follow-up yet.
It's interesting that this wall, which is primarily used all the way deep into mid, also covers the A main. They just collect the orb and fall off. This one, they want to force through this pit into art.
They don't have Enzo's Nightfall. They don't have any like clear utility
Oh,
to
I
get
like that,
through it.
though. You could see on top potentially a head pokes out there on the stairs.
Apollo, we may see a B hit for the first time. Or an A hit, excuse me, for the first time.
There's no slows from Asna. Derek is playing all the way back down this alleyway here.
He's so far back.
He's got the Nightfall too to help out Asna in this, and he's playing on top of Dugout. That's not an angle you expect when you're first new to playing the map.
Remember, Asuna does not have the wall. There's the Nightfall. You've got the relay, or
Oh.
the fast lane, excuse me. Finds some space, and Alvier goes right through it and gets two. Both members that you mentioned trying to hold the line on the site, gone. You still have the Viper's Pit. You
No
can
sound
maybe try
and
to deal with, but no,
still
Alvier seems to want to do it all himself.
कुछ नहीं होगा
3
bro.
on the round already, 2 just on the other
Never mind.
side. But can they
Never
hold
mind.
back? Alfier's got 4.
Never mind.
10 HP.
Can't do anything. Okay, probably something.
Get the ace. Boy,
Yeah,
he came
who got
close.
it? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he
Boast
Boast
is
it.
already covering. Sewers too.
So far ahead of the round.
Booster is like no.
So
Great execute.
not saving, bro.
The amount that went into that. The haunt for Alfier to get into that smoke. The
Shout
utility
होता
that
तो वहाँ पे
was pushing
spam कर
Derek
देता.
out of that smoke in general too. And then
हाँ,
the
उससे
spam
comp में
too
नहीं
on
करते
Asna.
हैं, but
He was flashed, couldn't break that haunt. And it's because of things like that, the prep that goes in these executes, that FNATIC is getting the spike down every round. It's wild that that 100 Thieves is able to still have the lead in that situation, because usually the retakes are hard.
Yeah. And they've been playing super soft, at least on B.
They've broken the money though finally. And this is Sean Garris and Stellar's chance to go for a push into mid.
Yeah, but Alfier seems to be ready for it. And again, he's got that ultimate. Oh, a shoulder given away.
Ooh,
You swing
ooh,
out
ooh.
and you see five
Choked, man.
thieves
Choked,
just
man.
waiting for you.
choked man.
And you get cleaned up for it.
Can't get the gun though. Oh, he
Choke
just
कर
picked it
दिया
up.
उसने. बहुत
There's
गंदा
nobody
choke था वो.
to actually punish.
But off of this, I mean,
Wait
yeah,
करना
there was a
चाहिए
lot
था
of fun
यार.
mid. But while that was happening, FNATIC have gotten onto B. They've taken full control. Once again, we're seeing them push aggressively into spawn.
Oh, good jump spot from Austin. They're so aware of that. Just the
Go on
walkabout
there.
deep
जो
into
भी खेला
spawn.
सही खेला.
And Will has his ult too. They're playing close. This could be dangerous. Will could definitely punish them.
Got Durka playing real close by too. Well, as mentioned,
Enzo का circle
No
crosser
danger there.
कैसे? Circle
no
crosser
danger
कैसे
at all.
बनाते हैं,
Clean
bro?
round out from FNATIC.
मेरे को भी चाहिए
Too
circle
many
crosser.
different areas that they've completely controlled after that initial mid push. So good call from Bosa there to just run it down B once again.
And again, all of the info that Alfier got off of that early swing really just kind of secured things for them. And as you were mentioning, it was a pistol round for him, but it is worth noting, FNATIC were down 4-1, call a timeout, and I mean, 100 Thieves haven't won a round since.
Yeah. Couple ults here for FNATIC. Some good ones for the execute too. Again, going for the same main controller. Mystic does not care about the smoke
That
that's put down
was
at the beginning of the round.
$1 million
Just
mistake.
destroys him.
Not million actually.
Go back and pick up the
$1,000.
spike, and it seems like they want to go towards A. Cosmic Divide. How much further can it keep him back? The flash through it. Asuna waiting on the other side as Durka decides to go the long way around.
They just took the site with 3 people.
Look at where Durka is. He's tucked in this tiny little corner, again, on the other side of the Cosmic Divide. There's no way they expect him here.
And Alfier's just gotten to help Mystic here in secret.
He very well may walk right by this. Mystic takes her bang, as you mentioned.
Saving already?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Nice response up from Will.
It's crazy, just did a little bit more damage too. If his teammates were still there, there might have been a chance to punish the overextension, but Boaster's already down in mid, ready to collect the exits.
He's pretty healthy himself. Oh, on the other side of the box, forces out the swing.
Nice
Wolf
try.
cleans it up half a second late. But either way, we've
Boaster
seen a
has
very clear difference on how Fnatic have been
69-0-0
approaching
money.
these attacking rounds from the timeout up until now.
Sus.
And it's working.
Well, once they get these ults up, Nini's a guy who thinks a lot about how to use these ults to give themselves the best possible advantage. And good on Mystic as well. To just instantly pounce. Keep Stellar up close. And Alfier and Boaster were not in that hit. The entry player for Fnatic was not even there.
Now it's 100 Thieves who are calling the timeout. See if they can right the ship. Again, it's been a tale of what, 2 timeouts? That doesn't quite work as well.
Well, let's see.
But it's been that, right? Like 100 Thieves looked like they were in control. Timeout called. Fnatic punch right back.
Yeah.
Roar out of that thing to tie us up at 4. And I think, again, you've seen the changes in the defaults. You've seen the changes in the way the Fnatic are thinking through these attack rounds. They've shown a lot more variety than what was just seen in the first 4.
Yeah. It certainly is a lot more variety. And I think that's the nice thing about Fnatic, right? It's game plans.
Yeah.
Let's see how this, let's poke a little bit towards B. And they'll give it up if it's not working. But they could always go back to those hits. And obviously that's going to be the cornerstone of their B executes. But the A hits have been working amazing.
Again, opening map between 100 Thieves and Fnatic, a series that really, as soon as we saw the groups come out and the teams all qualified, you knew this one was going to be a good one. This was the one that people got all fired up about. And so far, it's been for good reason.
Delivering in terms of learning Pearl with you guys. Delivering in terms of just the amount of new faces that we're seeing here from 100 Thieves. It's just fun. Fun vibes here at Champions.
Seems like we should be getting back into things here very shortly as the timeout clears up. And now we get a good look at ultimates. And now we get a good look at economy. For 100 Thieves, you see it. There's not much to go around. They do have Will Showstopper, and they do have Austin as res. So maybe you try to dial something up. Note that they're both playing in art right now. There may be something where if he gets in a bit of world of hurt, the res brings him back up.
Yeah, that's exactly the plan right now. Give Will an opportunity to hunt. Oh, but Dirk has been set up too.
Yeah, the recall on that star. The little film that's been out for Pearl.
They've got so much control here in mid. And it nets them the easy kill. Will's out of there.
Yeah.
Did he get the heal? No, he has to actually go all the way through sewers to get it from Asuna. Did not pose any more danger because you could see Enzo's ready to pounce back onto that. This has been the story for a lot of the rounds from Fnatic, but Durka has not yet been able to find super value. This time he has the op though, so let's see. There's 2 players playing up in heaven.
Yeah, if anyone dare jiggle that again, you imagine you'll have a kneecap blown off, a shoulder, something.
I mean, at this point, Derek should be playing for contact off of Will, right?
You hear the op shot go off. Now they understand what's on the other side of this fight. Haunt spots Derek, no follow-up damage.
Only 40 seconds here. Boaster has found himself through double doors.
A sneaky son of a gun that he is, and he's going to continue to push his way forward.
There's so little time for them to actually get anything. Boaster has to catch a rotator.
Wow.
30 seconds
He may
left.
on to if the timing lane's just right.
Bro.
Oh, but
Stellar, bro.
He's looking at it.
Oh. Dead.
And that's going to give him a weapon.
Dead.
He can now flank Asuna too. He's only got a sheriff. The slows could really cause problems though.
Note that Asuna's here alone though. With 13 seconds left.
Oh, they're just stuck right now. They're in mud.
10 seconds
But
left.
they may end up getting the site anyway. Yeah, they are. Asuna's just here alone. Now they're going to show up and fight for the retake. It's going to be a 5v3. And note, there's still 2 rifles in the hands of 100 Thieves.
And Boaster's giving up the flank too.
Can they get through this? You've got the wall to help out. And there's the showstopper, the Haunt. And there it is. And he gets one on Enzo. It was actually Durka who was a target, but Durka gets away. They're still up. They're still healthy.
Bro, you're dead, man.
Nothing found. Nothing doing.
You really needed that Boaster flank to work out in this round.
Well, that was so late.
Because if he doesn't, I mean, Asuna has the comfort to fall back there, and they still maintain the back of spawn. So not having that really punishes them. That's a thrifty win for them. There was only one gun in that round.
Not just that, it's a thrifty round win. The lead goes back their way, and they pick up the op from Durka.
I'm just laughing at Osta crouching through the hole. You're right, though. So much. Thankfully, they did use Will's ult, so that's not up anymore.
Asuna rocking the op. Light armor here. Again, he still has that res to work with, and he's going to be holding down B long. And note, it doesn't seem like that's where FNATIC are headed, although we've been baited into thinking that many a round before this one.
There's just so many defensive protocols that FNATIC have to consider because 100 Thieves is putting out the entire strat book right now on all sides of the map.
The Prowler to clear out Art, doesn't spot anything. They're looking to try to take this alley control. They're going to push Stellar back. He's trying to dodge the stuns. He spots Alfier, but that's it. Oh, that's a big one. As soon as the smoke goes down, Will's there to greet Boaster.
And the double face too. That's challenging FNATIC's default that they're continuously putting players off by themselves.
This should be the first time they get through Art, and look at the defensive setup from 100 Thieves. Oh. They have 4 members all around with 3 now, but they still have heavy presence here.
Don't forget, you could easily be flanked here if you commit through Art.
Yeah, and that's what Stellar's looking for. He's been spotted already, so now they understand, well, previously it was just a threat, now they know it's there. And they're gonna push right into it. Yeah, it's Alfier who tries swinging into it, and Stellar holds the line! Bang keeps him back too! Durka gets one off the pen, but how much more can he find? Asuna still with the op, he's starting to rotate over, but you've got Derek and Bang on here, and they clean things up. 100 Thieves to 6.
That push down onto Stellar was certainly a little ill-advised from FNATIC. Because, again, time running down, you're also just kind of taking the bait, right? Sure, they kill Will, but you have the follow-up here from Derek and Bang as well. They're re-clearing Art. The grab well was beautiful, too. I mean, there was so much there from 100 Thieves. And instead, FNATIC spot one player, and they want to kill him because they think he's exposed by himself.
What did FNATIC do here? Fast hit towards A. I think we've only really seen this in the pistol, but the gravity wall again is the problem. And now you've got the Nightfall to push them back even more, but it's countered. We've got one of their own. Prowler's gonna find Enzo.
The intent of this round from FNATIC was to go for a split on A. You saw the stun through the little window. And it just gets completely denied by 100 Thieves utility.
When the strats fail, हर बार organize same type का organization करते वक्त when they fail, it's so funny to watch कैसे मरते हैं ये लोग.
But once again, FNATIC.
But discipline रहना चाहिए.
Asuna still has that op. He's been patient.
And there's no cross smoke this time that they do at the
Economy भी खराब हो गई तो हो गया.
Oh my gosh! And not a moment too soon. Now the op is down. There's no one close by to recover it.
Ridiculous. He pops that late in the round. Asuna feels safe to try to re-peek angles.
Split-second decision, man.
You heard it. You heard the ult line go off, and you knew what was coming.
It looked like the op was recovered for just a moment. Durka goes back to the Vandal. The op actually goes in the hands of Enzo.
Double op now.
But they're so close. They're both there. Both ops are in that same nook, cranny, alley thing.
You got
to keep him back. But once again, they've gotten past the Cosmic Divide they set up before, and there it is. Durka with another. I think he cleared out the room, but with that hop shot. 35 HP, and they swing right into his lap. Understanding there's pressure coming in from both sides, he tries to keep it at bay. Boaster's been cleared out as well. A 2v2 Stellar.
The op plays in
They're both consumed at the exact same time. An excellent response from FNATIC.
CSGO के जितना fast होना चाहिए आपको.
Just
like all the
such a good recovery.
Durka's shot opens that round up for FNATIC.
Off plays will be so good.
They would have had such a difficult time to clear Asuna.
Almost
but the
every
problem for Asuna was at the beginning of that, before
simple.
they even get the sight. Here's the shot from Durka. This right here, Asuna has to cover both B-Link and B-Long. And that is an impossible task for a non-chamber or jet opper.
Yeah, it's so difficult. No mobility.
Careful there.
See the pings on the minimap from FNATIC already, expecting someone there. No op in the hands of 100 Thieves this time around.
Yeah, it's not something that they're relying on at all on this map. Don't necessarily have the money for it anyways, but
here.
Challenging It's difficult. How does that happen?
It seemed like he just slipped right around a smoke.
Boaster just doesn't understand that wall yet.
And that got Will the op. It was off of taking Pac-Man control. I guess we're sticking with that. Had they get the orb. No. All right, we'll change it. Had they get the orb and they get Will his ult. FNATIC getting the spike down on B, and once again, Alfier going aggressive. And he finds the kill, man. He sees everything through the magnifying glass of self-confidence, but Will, with the showstopper, goes in, goes aggressive. Alfier still up top, and they haven't cleared him out. Stellar and Bang, the only two left. Last round of the half. And there's really, I mean, if Stellar gets a kill, maybe he's got the pit, maybe he can make a play out of this, but no. Mystic gets FNATIC to 6 with 3 kills to clean things up. 4-1, 4-4, 6-6 to end it. It doesn't get much better than that. We'll be right back, friends.
One enemy remaining.
Thank you very much, Doug and Bala. I'm happy to report that there's a smile on this man's face.
Yay, Valorant, I'm a fan. Honestly, that first game was draining. It really was, because it just
the Cosmic Divide goes down, they cut off the spike from the rest of the team, and they just swarm in. This is the power of 100 Thieves, the trading, how well everybody is spaced out between each other, and then just all supporting each other to get off these sick retakes. Yeah. And it was only in round 11 and 12 where FNATIC figured out how to plant on B and actually hold a post plant.
Yeah, a huge fan as well of these adjustments that were being made as well, setting up Durka onto those nice angles with the operator in general. But I'm looking ahead now into this map in general, because the sides seem quite fitting in terms of the comps that both sides were playing, and how is Alfier now going to get value out of the Neon now that they're moving to this defense side? That's my question, because I think it comes down to proactive control of the map. You need to be taking extremity control really well with the Neon, a bit like how teams would play Split in the past, where they would try and fight for B main control, A main control. I think the same concept applies on this map. The way I've been thinking about Pearl as well, actually, is kind of like the same layout, I guess, as Split, but just blown up. The map's just much bigger, because you have the mid and the extremities and everything else. But Alfier is the star for me, and this guy is who I'm going to be paying close attention to, and how much value is he going to be getting with that Neon?
Yeah, I think Alfier is definitely the question coming into the next half. I don't know if FNATIC will be happy with 6.
Dragon CT side is going to be so dirty once he gets the op. 100 Thieves has no splashes, only smokes to counter.
But also, when you look at 100 Thieves, how
yeah, it can be quite rough playing against Chamber with no flashes.
So well. Yeah, everyone is so happy here on the desk. Doug and Bala, how are you guys doing? You happy?
Absolutely we are, and you guys touched on a very interesting aspect, the battle of minds. I mean, we saw the stage walk out and Minnie was throwing bows, and I think it's exactly that leads to how good this game has been so far, right? It is the coaches, the prep, everything that went into this, because we're seeing both sides come out really strong on the map.
Coming into this event, 100 Thieves are the best team at attacking pistols, around 77%. Well, that's cool. I like these fun facts.
They rarely lose those.
Yeah, they're pretty interesting.
They won the first half one, and now they've got a chance to do it again.
Oh.
Good start again.
Excellent start.
Oh.
Mystic with the trade, but Bang can
Wait, so that wall is just to, just to take that.
Just to clear
it's
that.
Just to take that and then leave.
I'm sticking this. Wait, so
that's
that
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But off of that, they're just going to rotate into A, and you've got Durka who's going to take the long way around.
He's going to come from an angle that's difficult for them to anticipate, but thankfully they have 3 players, and this is where they want to play post plant from, so there shouldn't be any problems.
And I guess you can see the Roomba was used early on to go back into spawn. Stellar's going to be the first line of defense here.
Jump spotting over top of that little shed. It's too easy.
We've seen that be a problem before.
I mean,
the Molly keeping Durka back.
He's just locked out.
Yeah, there's just no way in. A little high-low. Oh boy. Bang cleans it up at the end. I saw him go from crouch to uncrouched, and
Don't worry. You know what you always say.
Well, new close.
There you go. 2-0 for Pistols for 100 Thieves, 7-6. They take the lead again. And Will is definitely feeling confident.
Win this map,
For his international debut with as much criticism he's got regionally, it's great to see. Only one half in, but everybody had the question on their minds. Can Will actually be a Lanimal after everything that was said about him online?
It's early, but he seems to be answering those questions, and he wants to go aggressive already.
What is that? They've got a Molly going through the window and a Haunt too with the double satchel from Will. So cool.
2 Prowlers to clear out elbow, and they've gotten onto A. Well, I mean, there's no alarm bot. There's no contest at all.
It's drilled. Look, the Molly's on top of the smoke.
Yeah.
Got secret smoked out. There's a nade going into dugout to clear that too. Meanwhile, FNATIC, they're like, yeah, let's just walk push. Let's walk push stack.
This has the potential to be chaotic here, depending on where they go.
Sure. Yeah, I'd say they have to come into art after what happened to Durka last round.
Yeah. And it's just Austin who's here. I mean, you've got Will close by.
He has a ghost, too.
All right.
It's overwhelmed.
One line down. He dodges the flash. Oh, it looks like he may have flashed himself. He's got 3. Enzo is going to show up at the very end of the round. He's anticipating pressure from which side he can find, and ideally here he stays alive just to die to the spike. That's exactly what happens.
It's a pretty perfect anti-eco there from 100 Thieves. Asuna didn't even have a weapon, and Will got 4 kills. He's really close to that ult, and he only had a Spectre too, so he's easily ready to fight in this bonus.
And this is better than they looked in the first half at this juncture, right? Remember, it was very costly because of Durka previously. Yeah. Now they can ride this in a bit more.
Now is here where the desk's question about what are they going to do, FNATIC, with Alpha here?
Yeah.
Because he has a gun now. They're all light armor, though. I expect him to go for a lot of those extremity controls that 100 Thieves was going with the combination of Alpha and his stuns plus the grab wells and smokes. But they're not opting for that. They're going to have a 1-3-1 setup here.
Prowler spotting Alfier.
No bot lineup for Will. Might keep Alfier back, actually. They fight in front of it.
Exchange of utility as they continue to fight their way in through double door while Bang creeps his way up towards A. And there's nobody step further up. The alarm bots, once you get past into the site, so they can take a lot of space before they're found.
There's a complete difference in philosophies, too, about the approach on this attack side. Because they're using mid 100 Thieves a lot more than FNATIC was.
They can get so far up, Bala. They've taken art. They should be able to take elbow. Now they have 3 members left here. FNATIC do. They get 2 now. But Boaster's got Phantom. And Alfier's here, too.
Down A.
It's a 3v3 here for the site. Spectre in the hands of Will. Can he find any value with that thing as he creeps his way forward just on the other side of the smoke? Boaster there waiting. The stinger doesn't land. Boaster wins that out, and the numbers just crumble on the side of 100 Thieves. It's all Derek, and he's not going to clutch his way through that one.
Love the jump up on the ledge, too, from Durka and Enzo. But that was a difficult situation, right? A lot of the utility had already been spent. And you have Will trying to go for a play into that smoke. Boaster holds strong, though. There's no utility to get him into it, which was the biggest problem. Backside anchor, too, from Boaster. Somehow, Durka was there in time because they took a little bit of time after they took past the little back alley into sewers.
So FNATIC respond when they should, as we'd expect them to. You've got 100 Thieves, full guns, still light armor, all on the side of FNATIC, and they had the money to buy.
Surprisingly.
Also note the 2 ults on the side of 100 Thieves.
Going to get milk for the Billy.
They take some mid space, and then they just stop.
The big one I'm looking at is the Cosmic Divide.
Yeah.
Compared with the Sage Wall, you saw how Paper Rex was using it. You could easily get the plant down. And a lot of what actually was happening in NA was relying on your Astra player to get a lot of those ults up.
Look at Will. Oh! Not close enough. He didn't take a lick of damage. Entirely unscathed through that.
But they get space. Austin is able to stay here for quite a little while. They've already put their wall up towards B. They are running out of utility, so they might even run into the same issue that they ran last time.
Yeah, Yeah, a couple of misfires here.
But they just used actually Mystic with his Trailblazer up into Art. Saw nothing. And he falls a little bit farther back.
Yeah, note here though, much like we said in the previous round, this is a very similar setup. They've gotten into Art, they've gotten into this alley. They get all of this space.
Oh, look at Enzo. He's pushing out mid right now. Alfear's rotating. They've got this completely red.
Cosmic Divide through, and again, you've got Enzo who may be on the flank here. This may be a problem. So they've sectioned off the 3 members of FNATIC. We're still playing backside and in secret. But they've got to worry about Enzo. Enzo's going to play spoiler here. He's got a chance at it. He somehow got Will, but Bang trades it out. Cosmic Divide still keeping him back, but they've already pushed their way through. The threat of the Cosmic Divide is gone, and they put up a wall of their own. They've got lineups, they've got gravity wells. Boaster's just gonna hold it the entire way! Oh my gosh, the Molly keeps him back, but they've gotten it to half. Mystic may be able to do it himself, and he does! We're tied at 8!
How did he stay on the spike? There was a grab well. Did they anti-grab well him? I'm so lost. We need to see that again. Boaster almost full defused, and then Mystic just finishes it. Threw a Molly too. Oh, there's a Seize. Did the Seize keep him?
Surely not, right?
The Seize kept him in place, I think.
Isolate and exterminate.
Round 17 before us. Boaster has his ult. Tied at 8 apiece here on Pearl. And again, a push into Alley. A push into Hall and a kill for Will. Slight blunder here last time we saw him in this spot. This time no showstopper, no satchel to cause problems. Got the up here too. Durka takes some damage, has to back up a tit. Oh, and they're gonna fight into Art. Boaster's there and he's gonna spot so many players. Are they expecting Mystic? No, they were not! But Asuna flies across the screen and trades him out.
And somehow they come out with that advantage. That is crazy. Trademark slows them down, though. They should be able to get on the site, but Alfear somehow is getting himself all the way to dugout.
He's alone. He's alone. Alfear 1 point away from having his ult. They can't really rotate back. And he's only got light armor. Can he be the anchor late in this round? I see the Astro Stars go up. That should draw the rotate. Slow orbs. Durka goes back. Alfear puts a wall up, starts to spam through it. Not landing any shots yet.
Almost isolates the planner.
9 bullets, and now you're going to have to deal with the Viper's Pit too. Like, the situation wasn't hard enough as it is. How does Durka with an op, who has now arrived, find value out of this op? Or do they just save? That seems to be the case.
Wow. 100 Thieves debut. And after a blunder, like we just saw in the last round, they maintained composure, even after this round started out really well for FNATIC. Hundred Thieves holds strong and gets another spike plant and explosion. They are going so well right now with the way that they're reading the map, and the difference is so stark.
And worth noting here for Stellar and Bang, they don't have a ton of money. They went through that round without taking any damage. They don't need to buy up full armor, anything like that. As we get near to the end of the map, when it's as close as this, those little things matter.
Jump shot from Asuna as well. Keeps the advantage for them.
Yeah, but how many times have we seen that turn into a 3rd kill, too?
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous that Asuna's the guy to do it again, too, because he's constantly doing stuff like that. He's laughing about it all the way to the bank. Slow lineups for him. Double slow. Used very early.
2 ults on the side of FNATIC. The three remaining members 1 point away. Now Durka's got his. I imagine he'll be using that here. He's got that operator already, but they're trying to work their way into B, and Will pushes into the smoke.
Face your fear.
What a mad lad. Durka deafened, decayed, and deterred for now.
Teleport's ready.
What can they find? Where can they go? The reinforcements have arrived. Oh, surely not. Oh, that buzzed right by his hand. Holding a second as the Prowler tries to pave the way. Oh, he's going to get a kill like this, isn't he? He's been flirting with it for as long as he has. It seems inevitable. Derek on the swing, but Durka with the shot. And now the Cosmic Divide through. Will trying to spam across as Boaster gets it to half. Swings off, gets the kill, but it's Bang who holds him back.
No wahala. I end the trouble.
Bang again is so clutch in these situations. And he holds the lead for 100 Thieves. So close for FNATIC to hold that. The wall comes up for them too. This was the round. What a swing. Out of the corner. Just found himself a little pocket. And you have to call a pause after that. You felt like you had this game in your grasp for FNATIC. You 100%. After that defuse, you think, oh my goodness, they just messed up. That's it. That's it. We're in this game. We've got this.
What a response. What a response. I know I mentioned it a couple of times, but I have to draw us back to the first half. FNATIC called a timeout after they lost control. They were able to reestablish it. The lead, not as large as it was before, but the task, still the same before them. They've got to find a way to right this ship. Also worth noting very quickly, as we near getting into the round, we called it in the previous round, there are a lot of ultimates up for FNATIC here. They may not have a ton of money, we'll see what that looks like, but they should have a ton of ultimates to work with.
Nightfall, Seekers, Alfir and Durka both have their big kill ults. So they could definitely make a round out of this, especially with Boaster investing a Guardian into this round.
And do they just go fast?
One ult popped.
There it is, Durka took some damage too. He has to back up.
Just took a little decay there, actually.
Bomb buddy out.
Look at how interestingly 100 Thieves are playing. Stellar's still back in spawn.
They're just neutralizing it right now. Alfir's popped his ult. They're definitely trying to go for this, but they expected them to have committed.
Yeah.
And they haven't.
He finds nothing. Execution styles. Asana's waiting. Now they're going to push up towards the middle of the map. Again, remember, these are two members who are further back, and Bang and Stellar, now they creep their way forward. Enzo waiting in art. He still has his ult.
They've just slowed it all down. The original plan was to try to punish. Well, let's see what you can do. Try punishing us. Go ahead.
Right there.
Great calling from Stellar here. Still have to deal with potentially Durka, and they're coming to his site.
Han's gonna spot him, and he's smoked off, so they know he's there, and he can't have a challenge. He's just gonna have to swing his way through the smoke if he wants a shot at this thing. No.
Spike planted.
Shoots one off and then gets away.
Oh.
Bang has fallen, and Enzo's got a weapon. Oh, but the timing's not great. But he may have heard him. He did hear him, and he lands the shots on Stellar as well.
Where are you?
Enzo on land activated.
How have they flipped this thing back in their favor? Now the Seekers are used. They have full control. They've dropped everything. The Seeker's going to find Asuna on the flank, so they know he's there. Mystic's going to get it to half. Boaster cleans it up, but they get the kill onto him. But it's still at half. It's still at half. They've got to get the kills. And Durka may be doing it himself. You hear the showstopper. Will just biding his time. Boaster with a brutal decision before him. And a showstopper as well.
Destroyed again. After it looked like they actually had a chance in that round. But they're neutralizing Durka so well in the back of sight. You saw before the hit even came. Utility after utility was landing on him. The rendezvous has to use before he even sees anybody.
Yeah. Almost landed that kill. That was so close.
And Enzo's just not fast enough to actually fight while that defuse is going down. Plus Derek in the smoke.
You said he didn't show emotion like that?
I mean, when he's back, somewhat involved in the server. There's an opening. There's how you get some value, Durka. Yeah. We actually did not see that in their loss against Paper Rex back at Copenhagen, where he takes the initiative.
Big opener out from him. Interesting wall to get the res back up, bring Derek into the fold once again. The Molly's going to keep Boaster back. And remember, Durka's on the opposite side of the map, so they should feel a bit more comfortable about getting B long control here. push their way forward. They've gotten up so far. And they're going to have backside control too.
Something that concerns me as the spike goes down. We have a 5v5. Durka is flanking with an op.
Yeah, but you've got Derek who's waiting for it too. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight is going to happen on the site.
They just used a haunt.
And he waited around it, so they don't know that he's coming. But the timing's going to have to be good. Alpha here slides his way forward. He's able to get one. Asuna on the trade. Mystic going to back where Alpha was just a moment ago to find the same level of value. And Mystic gets another. And it was Durka on the flank to clean it up at the end. It was a slow burn, but a good one nonetheless.
But they really didn't even need him. Mystic and Alpha just make a meal out of the players in back of sight. And 100 Thieves, momentum was with them. But they decide finally to go towards that B site. And they pay for it.
Durka's
money is still not even that great for them too.
They won 3 rounds in a row, you're right, it wasn't.
One less.
Mystic's so good in that spot.
We saw it in the first half too.
Yeah. 2-round lead here still for 100 Thieves. And you mentioned it, Balla, the money not great. You see it reflected in the buy. 2 Spectres and a Stinger.
They do have the Astral Wall though. But it's difficult to play post plants with these types of weapons, so how are they going to really use that to great effect?
I mean, they're doing a good job of trying to get close quarter combat. Oh boy.
Oh, the head is visible.
Oh my gosh.
Derek isn't.
No. You were mentioning how 100 Thieves go about this round. They were doing a good job of getting close quarter combat because of the weapons that they have. Again, in the Spectres and the Stingers, they were using Prowlers to take space and swing off of that. But now that they've gone through most of that utility, how do they approach? They have no room but to clear space. They have no Prowlers to clear space.
Pang is so far up A. He's by himself here.
They smoked off, but it's steep. The alarm bot's going to spot them, and that's exactly where they're going. They're going to have to clear it out, and that might be a spam spot. Yeah, there it is. As soon as the alarm
Look
bot
at the
goes
flank!
out, the spam is there, and what flank? Boaster was wise to it. They're just going to push in. Oh, they're going to push in, and him with 44 HP is able to get another.
30 seconds left.
I mean, what are your options here?
You're stuck in the middle of the map.
With nowhere to go.
The wall is still available here, but Stellar just put it up, so by the time they get there,
it's going to be gone, and Durka's waiting on the other side. Dodges the haunt again. 13 seconds left. The operator continues to be a problem.
10 seconds left.
They should be able to carry that. Well, actually, yeah, they are going to be able to get that op. Carry it into the next round. FNATIC win another.
what could have been a dangerous round for 100 Thieves ended up being pretty dangerous, but still with the disadvantage. They now have the guns. And they've been so good with them. This second half, they have been destroying the A site with their executes, destroying the middle of the map, denying any sort of control from FNATIC. Compare that to the first half that 100 Thieves had on their defense, and they were controlling a lot of the extremities. I really feel like they've been in control this game, but it's still 11 to 10.
FNATIC's response the last couple of rounds has been incredible. Because you think and you see it on the, if you look at a timeline, you see like that was the moment in which you can kind of lose full control of what's going on. That's where you let the map go out of your grasp.
Yep. But it is 100 Thieves timeout. Sean is trying to give the tools to his team to close this game out right here, right now. And you think about the economy, 100 Thieves has a chance to break them as they go to match point. Meanwhile, they're going to need this one specifically because next round they're for sure going to be ecoing. And that'll give the opportunity for FNATIC to get to match point instead.
Well, look at the mini-map. They have 3 members of FNATIC up against the gate towards B. There's no one there who's going to be there to contest it, but they're going to take so much space.
Remember, last time we saw these lineups from Asuna, it was double slows. One outside of the art push, and the other one to deny somebody going back towards secret.
Face your fear!
This 3-man flank is going to be brutal. It only tags 1 member in secret, as you mentioned. Enzo close by. The Prowler's going to hunt him all the way back.
This is ridiculous.
Are they accounting for this flank? Enzo's no longer around, but I mean, the real threat is behind them. The Cosmic Divide's going to keep them back, or at least Boaster. Bang is waiting. Bang is waiting. He's ready for it. The op shot doesn't land. But are you expecting 2 more? I think that's a big issue here.
But they're all going back towards the art side, so they're using their Viper Wall too. This is going to be difficult, even if it's unexpected.
Oh, the round has collapsed for FNATIC.
Taken out.
Maybe Mystic can do something about it. He's got the Seekers. He goes to the Prowler. You see Alpha pushing his way forward. Mystic's left alone. 38 HP. The Gravity Well, the spam. 100 Thieves, map point. That could have been so disastrous.
Yeah.
But they handled it so well.
And it came so slow from FNATIC too. And meanwhile, Durka splits from his team. Look at this. 3 guns right now. You just saw 3 guns purchased from FNATIC. The rest of the players cannot.
They've just done such a good job. Like, you can see it in their game plan. FNATIC want to apply pressure off the flanks, understanding there is no trip to cover the flank or anything like that. They have to face those flanks themselves. But 100 Thieves a step ahead, expecting that level of pressure.
They're going fast with this Viper Wall this time. First time they're actually using it when it's match point.
What a gift of a map that's been so far. Slow going into back sight. Gonna clear out everything around them. It's just Boaster and Enzo here. The wall up, and this is the hit we were kind of expecting for a long time, but Boaster spams through the box! Bang is taken back sight. And now they've got the Seekers to work with too.
Still making it work.
Yeah.
They got the pit.
100 Thieves have advantage. They've got numbers advantage. And now they have the Shroud too. Mystic not able to find anything off of that. Pushes the Seekers off. But Alfie surely not. Is this where he spells disaster? No. Derek drops him. Durka in a 1v4 to keep the map alive. And he's not able to do it. As soon as he steps in, Stellar drops him. 100 Thieves win Pearl 13-10.
What a result. To take FNATIC to the map that you know they've been prepping since the end of Copenhagen. And you're sitting here winning that game. After not having any time, 2 weeks since LCQ, and they look like that on a map that I haven't played before.
The confidence that we were talking about, the confidence that they shared, I get it.
Yep.
I understand why. As much as we talked about the prep and how they don't have enough time and how they tend to be prep heavy and how are they going to weather all of that? How are you going to deal with Will? Can he stand up to snuff on the international stage? That boy went 26 and 17.
That's crazy.
That's not bad. I'll take that.
Yeah, that is ridiculous too. And the nice thing too, not even using a chamber.
Yep.
Right, so he doesn't have to lean into potential places that he's uncomfortable.
Yeah, sure.
Really good game for both sides. But for once we see FNATIC's creativity fall short in this opening game.
Good eyes indeed, but man, you think about how many rounds in that series go down to like a 1v1 or just like a crazy moment that can flip the round, that can flip momentum. For as much as momentum is a factor in this game in particular, it easily could have gone the other way.
Yeah, you actually saw a lot of what the desk was talking about, what DDK, their GM from 100 Thieves, was talking about. Even though they're playing from isolation, even though they're facing a little bit of trials, they're still confident. I mean, you saw it in that game.
Again, 100 Thieves take map 1, 13-10 on Pearl. Bind on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings. Trouble gives you wings.
What a debut for the new 100 Thieves roster here on the international stage. They take down FNATIC on Pearl. I'm your host, Youngsu. I'm back here with Josh and Brent. Smiles all round. It's really good to see you guys in a nice mood.
I mean, I think that game was just sick. That was just a fantastic map. You could see all of the machinations as both teams tried to figure each other out. It's the first time they both looked so drilled. I mean, that was a great map as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan now of 100 Thieves. Going to be buying all the merch off the back of this, I think, because like we said, they were so well drilled, and honestly, 100 Thieves, credit to them that they've come into Pearl, a map that honestly they haven't had a lot of time to prep for. They've been a last chance qualifier team, but they looked like they had so many cool ideas on this map about how they wanted to play it.
Yeah, and I think the question about Alfia, though, on the defense didn't really get answered to me. You see that star player, who has been the best player for FNATIC recently, even better than Durka, 14 and 20 at the end of this map, so didn't quite get the value they were looking for. Look how different the first kills are as well.
15 to 8.
Yeah,
15 to 8 is a large discrepancy.
Especially when you have Durka and Alfia on the other side as well. But let's talk about One Man. I think One Man you guys didn't expect to pop off. We were talking about Derek all day. But Will, though, how good was he?
He was so good. I mean, Will, for anyone who hasn't been watching North America, has been much criticized because he's been towards the bottom of the duelist players that's been playing in NA. And then he turns up here and he goes from Will to William the Conqueror.
Yeah,
he just started slaughtering people.
The guy is an absolute animal. I mean, look at these numbers. It's early days yet with the one map played, but this is a different guy that we're seeing right now. And I honestly, I kind of posed the question in a joking way. I was like, man, what if Will is a Lanimal? As well, I was saying recently, we were doing our top 20 list, so we were joking around about the top 21 player. Which player is going to surprise the most?
Was it your 21st?
No, I didn't go past 20 because I'm lazy and I don't have work ethic. But in terms of Will, this guy has gone crazy in this match. And those 15 first kills that we saw contribute heavily by Will, taking a lot of fights, winning them out as well.
Yeah, and I do want to pick up something that you guys pointed out when we were watching the game, is the low buys of the shield on the side of FNATIC. So talk me through what we're seeing.
So NRG was a team in North America that started buying the 25 armor instead. Take a look at the FNATIC side of things. They're buying light armor even when they have a lot of money to work with. And I can't tell you that it made a huge difference. I'm not going to try and sell you on that. But it could have done in terms of how many extra rounds FNATIC were able to get into things there. And so if you take a look at the economy graph, I mean, God bless you trying to get information out of this one. But I have a feeling that FNATIC have approached this in a deliberate manner where they are choosing to buy the light armor instead in many situations just because it'll give them more opportunities to buy.
Yeah, to get the gun rounds under their belts, I think, as well. I mean, that's the idea behind it. In reality, though, when you do this against a composition, like the way that 100 Thieves are playing, if you're going up against a Raze, a Viper, a Fade as well, all of it, so much damage with the chip damage.
Phantoms.
Yeah, and Phantoms all the time. 100 Thieves are just buying pretty much across the board Phantoms all the time. You've got to think 140 damage, 124 for a headshot if you're really far away, but all of that just brings you, at best case scenario, down to 1 health if you're on half armor. So, like, it's a flawed game plan when we were watching NRG do it, and I didn't pick out any instances of it failing, but I have to question it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we had everything in that map. I know you guys are really happy. We're going to revisit a moment here for our Verizon high-speed moment of the match, and this was the round 16 defuse, where I think there was a grab well, there was a seize.
It was
there was just everything was going on.
I don't know what was going on here. I mean, at points I was like, was it a sabotage seize that prevented the pull from denying it? I think it was just a bad pull, wasn't it?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, I loved Barla's conspiracy
so
theory.
So close.
I love Barla's conspiracy theory about the seize being counter to the pull that was going through. At the end of the day, I think he just missed the pull a little bit.
I can see Barla shouted at me. I don't know what you said there.
I'm going to need production to let me know how close that was. Surely there has to be a way to find out how close that was.
They got it anyway.
Right?
Yeah, they got it in the end.
Yeah,
That wasn't the problem with that.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But before we get into map 3, let's head over to the Aim Lab shoot around. We are watching Enzo right now at Aim Labs. I do want to say though, 100 Thieves, great map, but we also have to give a little bit of credit on the side of FNATIC. They also put out a great performance. I think it was just a couple of minute synergy issues.
Who's that?
That's him. He's got 2 mice.
I was like, whose hand is that? He's got 2 mice?
Although I will say he might need both of them if he wants to beat 100 Thieves up bar.
Is Enzo left-handed?
Does he normally play left-handed?
Yes, I think he is left-handed.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
This is quite funny.
Does he use a left-handed crosshair?
What are you talking about?
What are you...
Bro, you actually broke my brain with that, and I can hear Barla just laughing on the balcony.
I was trying to visualize
I
what
gave
that
you the
means.
time of day with that comment, and I just thought about it, and you stun-locked me on the broadcast. You stun-locked me.
I'm so excited heading into map 2 though, because I think this is actually going to be another banger. It's kind of comfort territory for both teams. If Will's still playing like this, you get Alfier on a role that he's more comfortable with too. It should just be lights out from here on.
I think my concern is FNATIC, sometimes they can get a little bit in their heads, right? They do that. They're kind of their own worst enemy sometimes, and I think picking Pearl, having the expectation of being one of the best Pearls in the world, losing that in that fashion, Brennan, then having to go into your opponent's map pick. I don't know. They're going to have some strong mental game to come back into this.
But I think FNATIC have showcased that they do have that strong mental game. They've come back in many scenarios before in the past. I mean, they're a super experienced team, and they are comfortable on Bind as a map, despite the fact that it is a 100 Thieves map pick. I still think, as Josh has been mentioning, this is just going to be a lights-out performance and a match in theory, because you'd expect 2 of these teams, heavy hitters, 100 Thieves, no strangers to Bind. Obviously, them picking it means that they have something up their sleeves, and they do like to play this map. They have a lot of cool ideas about how they play on the macro sense, but I still think if you are FNATIC, you come back away from this one, maybe get a little pep talk from Mimi or Mini.
Did you say Mimi? Is Mimi now the coach?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Mimi's pep talk right
200
now?
miles an hour. Nobody can understand that.
Unironically Pog. That's what she's going to be bringing
Pog.
I think you can blame it, if you want to play the mental game, right, as FNATIC, you can blame it a little bit on the fact that it was a new map, you know? You're just like, all right, hands up, we tried something with the Pearl, it didn't work, but listen, we're playing Bind, guys. Like, we're going to win this next one, right?
Yeah.
And even if you don't really believe the logic behind it, you can convince yourself that that's the case and refresh. And I think this is so important for Alfier to have a pop-off game coming up right here. He didn't have his like standard at Copenhagen, and all right, obviously it's your first time on the stage. But this time, and in Bind, we need to see amazing things out of Alfier on Viper.
We're into the Prime Gaming Agent to select here, and they have, FNATIC are made 2 changes, it looks like. That means they've brought in the Brimstone for the Astra and the Chamber for the Fade.
Okay, so yeah, I was saying Alfier needs to have a great game on Viper because that's what he's been playing recently. But I quite like this comp. I think it makes a lot of sense as well. Optic's been running. Optic are the best team in the world on Bind. Take a page from their book, why not?
And you're putting Alpha on a bit more of a comfort role. I mean, Durkee still gets to play his Chamber. Yeah, I like to call him Durkee like that. I mean, he carried me in an unrated game once, we're close.
Do you say Derek-y?
No, I just say Derek when I'm typing in this chat as a tier 3 sub. And for the 100 Thieves sides, I mean, these guys, it's a standard comp in terms of what they play. I don't think there's any changes from the line. So, yeah, I mean, they are really good at this map, though. I think the same elements that we saw, which were big successful points for them in terms of the trading, in terms of that synergy to set plays, you're going to see that magnified as well, because they do have a ton of reps on Bind.
This is Will v Alfier. It's who can get more value out of Raze, and you say that it's a comfort pick for Alfier. It obviously is, but this isn't what he's been playing recently on Bind.
No.
And I think you've got to see amazing stuff from him. He's been the carry player for FNATIC. 28% of their trades. You can't let that go.
Well, FNATIC, they have to pull back here if they want to force a 3rd map. Doug and Bala, do you have left-handed crosshairs?
I would, but I'm ambidextrous, so I have the ambidextrous crosshair, which is slightly different from left-handed. It's left-handed and right-handed combined.
I use right-handed.
Yeah?
Yeah. Crosshair and model and brain. I only think with my right side.
100 Thieves, take Pearl, now Bind on the menu, and then again, if needed, we will be heading over to Haven, but we talked through a bit of the compositional changes from FNATIC, the things that are going around. As much as we saw this matchup on paper and went, oh, it's going to be Will versus Durka, who's able to you know, get the best of them this time, conversation changes slightly.
Yeah, they've swapped it, right? And it's interesting because FNATIC is, again, leaders on this map forever in so many instances, and even recently, too. And so they're moving away a little bit from it, especially because Alpha was such a good Viper, and there were so many things that he was doing, but Enzo will take his place instead of the Fade.
This time FNATIC starting off on defense. You see the intentions already. A flash into showers, a prowler into hookah.
100 Thieves is also a creative team on this map. They've been running this comp a little bit more recently, but you've seen them actually go away from the norm in a lot of instances with their Viper walls and so on. So surely going to be practiced and prepped though from FNATIC.
There's a wall, the smoke out of heaven. Will drop in the Roomba. They still have U-Haul control. FNATIC have not given up an inch quite yet, but they're going to have to deal with what's happening around them as the flank comes through. Durka able to hold it back just fine.
One enemy remaining.
Mystic and Alpha are both still here. As you see bodies littered around them. Will flashed up, has to swing around. He finds nothing with that frenzy. FNATIC win the pistol, and there goes the Leviathan streak. They only got to 2.
It's definitely something that's difficult to recreate. Good plan from FNATIC that they just hold the one side. And Alfir and Mystic, good trading as well. Mystic has been somebody who surprised me so far in this opening match, even though maybe early tech problems for him. He stayed in the game.
Yeah.
And I think so far, doing better than what he did at Copenhagen. He was one of the guys on FNATIC who severely underperformed from his online performances. But not as critical as players like Durka and Alfir. Still important.
I see them work their way up towards showers. Again, the flash. And they should be able to get that orb once they clear out every single corner and make sure there's no one lying in wait. They actually hand it over to Asuna.
Yeah, and one of the things that you don't get with the Astra or with the Brim is a lot more control on towards bathrooms. You remember that was what Boaster was playing at Copenhagen.
Yeah.
So you see they're not really controlling because these will have to playing all the way to the other side of the map. They have to use the orb and kind of give up bathroom. We'll see if that trend continues. I don't think it will all the time.
It's interesting. They just prowlered. Mystic just prowlered long. Didn't see anyone. Now you've got Bang rotating over. You see, he still has one smoke. That flash is going to give info away.
Great
what a
info.
great flash. There's no way they would have seen that thing. Now Boaster waiting with a gift on the other side. Molly. Drops the molly to make sure no one jumps out window. And you've got pressure coming in from all sorts of sides. Alfier, Boaster, the kill streak just bleeds as they clean things up. Only one lost on the side of FNATIC.
That is a clean anti-eco. And good response out of Boaster, good response out of Alfir. For them to actually just be ready to pounce with little time throughout the round. They're still controlling short, giving them time to go through the TP. Here's the nade initially. Then he instantly grabs the second nade after the kills.
One enemy remaining.
And they have to swing off from that, yeah.
And it's really interesting to see them have such confidence in Alfir here to swap Dirk off of it. Potentially as well, wanting to get Dirk on this chamber.
Blinded.
This is kind of what they've wanted, right? This was the whole idea behind the signing of this young kid. Is he's gonna be nuts.
Has to add firepower.
Yeah. He's got a chance. You mentioned the confidence that they have in him. Seem to be leaning into it a bit. Note here that while they have taken short control, they still don't have showers control. Alfier is still the problem there.
Durka might have gotten the first kill, but he's all the way back towards B now. So they're trying to hold on to bathroom, and they're going to pinch him. Bang is coming through the backside, and Alfier has no chance.
He's able to take care of Bang, but that's it. They had to crack open showers. They do.
Spike's been down for like 20 seconds at this point, and the FNATIC players are just arriving.
First Marshall shot. I actually think that did hurt a little bit. Switches over to the Headhunter. Nothing found. Derka dropping down, going aggressive. He has no armor. The flash in his face, the swing around from Will, and the kill delivered.
One enemy
Mystic
remaining.
and Enzo, the only two that remain, and the gun difference on full display.
And Asana's flash is fantastic for Will there too. Even though he misses the shot as Dirk is falling down, he gets him full blind still and has so much time to work with because I think everybody there blind in the back of sight.
Thieves never losing to an EMEA team.
It's a completely different roster, but
yes,
you know, we'll give it the time of day.
It's still not wrong.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
Bring them down.
See if they're able to maintain that streak. So far, so good. Again, they won Pearl.
By the way, just because I have to mention it, the only 2 losses Fnatic has against NA teams are both Sentinels.
They worked their way into the broadcast after all. Another quiet round initially for 100 Thieves. Got a cheeky little spot. Look at Stellar.
This is their own cut.
Oh, but the Prowler's going to give him away.
But he's stuck now. Mystic is stuck. They have to commit to fighting
There's
this.
no flash. Yeah, he had already used the flash that Stellar had avoided because he was behind the wall. Great trade out from Enzo, though.
And they've actually set up Dirk really well. They're going to hit this A site with no Viper Wall. Have to rely on Bang's 2 smokes here.
And the Seekers, they had a flash out too. Now the smokes start to come down.
There is no nade from Alfia, though.
And the spike is just now getting through bathroom. It's just now getting through showers. And Austin has fallen. Boaster trying to spam through. And it's actually Will who wins that up close and personal. What? Stellar and Bang still remain. No armor across either of them.
30 seconds
Oh,
left.
they're so weak.
Spike
But the truth
down
is,
A.
members of FNATIC are too. There's not a whole lot here. There are just so many targets. And they're on opposite sides. They've divided his attention. And Bang with 13 seconds left. The spike not even in hand. He's going to have to go back to showers, pick it up.
10 seconds left.
And he's just going to save.
Alfia, their patience and discipline not to peek him. But you wonder as well whether he could have actually taken the gun down and been one step closer. Either way, Fnatic controlling very well. It feels a little bit like 100 Thieves didn't exactly know what they wanted to do there. You mentioned the spike taking forever to get towards that site.
So delayed.
But even still, they also committed that wall over towards the B side. And usually they really want to condition early about those actual executes, whether you actually walk up elbow or you're hitting the site. It's been a strength of 100 Thieves on this map, but well studied and well documented as well.
Speaking of conditioning off of the Viper Wall, look at it. This time it's splitting A site while it's a 5-man push towards B. Flash is going to get some info. There's a counter flash there too. Do they swing off of it? Dirk is waiting. They take care of the trademark. You got Asuna, showed a little something.
Did they even see the off there? I think they must have.
Oh, I don't know that they have.
Mystic's walking up. He's going to flash him right in the face, but Boaster's also fragging on the site.
The Sheriff's really only found 1 kill so far for Stellar.
One enemy remaining.
Will upgraded a weapon, and he's getting some kills. He's got the ult too.
Spike's on site as well.
And they're all coming in from defender spawn. If he reads this right, this could be disastrous. The nade to delay to buy some time, but he looks over Tortuga, just sees the molly come through. He's gonna push it. My gosh, he's gonna push it! Tries to get away, understanding there's pressure right behind him. He's going aggressive, but they've split! He's gotten into a 1v1! Alphayer and Will! We talked about this matchup! The swing comes out and Alphayer wins it out!
So close! What an attempt from Will! What an attempt from Will!
He almost did that! He almost did that!
He split them so well with that showstopper. Still performing on map 2. Wow!
Round 1, though, in this matchup, goes in favor of Alpha. Man, I hope we get like 16 rounds of that.
My heart won't be able to take it. Oh, he thought he won! Round's already started.
Woo. All right, back into the action. And it's a slow start.
Had to show that.
Yeah.
A little bit of utility thrown by 100 Thieves at the beginning of the round towards bathroom. But they're still using this wall. Again, options, they can walk up elbow with it and really pressure the site that way because the flanks through spawn are dangerous.
Mystic still has a Prowler. He still has a Flash to work with too, and Seekers.
Here.
You've also got Durka, you've got Enzo close by, and they're going to swing right into this.
They're not giving really Durka the time of day, and he's pressured through hookah right now.
Will tried blasting his way out, and he found nothing. Mystic holds fast.
Enzo is doing a great job bouncing between Long B and hookah there. Durka was under so much pressure, and Enzo's the guy who saves him. Meanwhile, Mystic completely read this map.
One enemy remaining.
Sees sand is clear, knows the last two have to be hookah. And here comes the flank.
Prime Gaming Flawless comes through for FNATIC. Mystic gets 3 on the round. The kills seem to be coming in bunches for Mystic. You mentioned how well he played on Pearl. He's doing just fine right now, 7-3.
It's been a long time since I've considered him, you know, a top-tier bind player, but he's showing off right now. And they're really playing a lot of setups to set his flashes up. Right there, Dirk was spawning for him. Enzo was there to pair up a volley with it too. And the fact that he's showing the confidence to go for these late round flanks. Remember, there was 3 up at that point.
Yeah.
That's a really, really nice start for Mystic in the tournament.
The buy, once again, not good for 100 Thieves. Meanwhile, Durka's got not. He's got a short force. He's got a kill on a Stellar. He's got everything.
And he's already rotated here in time to help Alpha and Enzo.
Enzo and Boaster both have ults to work with too, as well. Just fully sprints. I don't think the guy stopped moving. Enzo still playing backside, dancing around the smokes. I don't know, you're gonna dance way around that one. Derek is still holding his hand with the op. What is that molly? Land not going down, it was so close. Austin has upgraded a weapon, he's gotten a Phantom here.
Last player standing.
And there they go, just like that. Durka gets the 3rd on the round there. He started it off at the beginning and returns to the scene of the crime to close the round.
Very shocked that 100 Thieves is not able to capitalize there. You had full control of this front of the site, and then unfortunately you get spammed by Boaster.
Yeah, I
which,
think
okay. But at that point, the spike should have been down already. And I was also... That was just pistols for 100 Thieves.
Maybe a stinger, but there's just one. Yeah, you're right.
And the early kill that Will got onto the player, Alfier, inside of center pocket.
A 6-1 lead out for FNATIC. And there was a lot of discourse at the beginning of the series as we rewind and think about, oh, okay, Pearl, how's that going to go? Bind, how's that going to go? Like, people think it's a very strong map for FNATIC. It's a very strong map for 100 Thieves as well. Ball, I'm not going to lie to you. Given that this should be a strength for both sides, I don't know that I expected this score at this point.
Yeah, 6-1 is dominating. And it low-key feels like some of the attack sides that we've seen from 100 Thieves in the past where they can't get anything going. We'll see, though. I don't really think they're taking massive advantage of the fact that FNATIC is not challenging Bathroom too much. They're trying really to give them a false sense that they're using Bathroom in a lot of instances, but it's coming out so slow. Let's see, though.
Back on the light armor for both Mystic and Boaster here while they have money to work with.
Yeah, that's a good shout. But 3 Phantoms on the side of 100 Thieves.
You see that Viper's Pit used instantly by Enzo. Note that Stellar has one of his own, and Bang has his ult to work with too. And it goes back to somewhat you were talking about earlier, because they put that wall up towards A as they pushed around. The problem may be here is that Durka has that alarm bot in hookah, and they clear it out, so they know there's presence here. And off of that, they've taken so much space down long.
The crazy part too, not only are they going to be able to hold on to long forever, but they've got their own way to fight back into spawn as well, which is that raise ult.
Note here again, they're expecting the flank because they understand that there's no one to cover that, so they have to hold someone there, and this time it's Derek who does it. Is that out? The Viper Pit that you mentioned conceals things at B. You should try to nade your way in. I don't know that